major life goals. Mark Hannon with Evergreen Wealth Strategies helps everyday people every day with their finances, discussing cash flow, liquidity, investments, insurance, and tax-efficient strategies. No matter your financial planning stage, Mark will boost your confidence and keep you on track. Learn more at evergreenstl.com.
Equitable Advisors, LLC, member FINRA, a broker-dealer and a SEC registered investment advisor. Equitable Financial Advisors and MI. Evergreen Wealth Strategies is not a registered investment advisor and does not provide tax advice.
Listeners ought to check out Collier and Thompson, support the sponsors, and have the best contractors in St. Louis work on your kitchen remodel if that's what you want, or bathroom remodel, basement, wine room, whatever. Collier and Thompson does it all, and these are people that you can trust. They have an A-plus rating with the Better Business Bureau. That's not always that common for people in this line of work. They won a Torch Award for Ethics from the Better Business Bureau. Collier and Thompson on Manchester and Baldwin, next to Uncle Bill's Pancake House. Collier and Thompson, come home to quality. Online at collierandthompson.com.
Billiken Nation, this is Robbie Avila, and I can't wait to represent SLU for the Lou and our city's basketball team. Get your full season tickets now for as low as $125, or experience the excitement up close with 100 level seats for $540 by visiting slubillikens.com today. You won't even need my goggles, as there is not a bad seat in Chaffetz Arena. Pack Chaffetz Arena to cheer on an exciting brand of basketball. Buy your tickets now by visiting slubillikens.com today.
Thinking about selling your home, but not thrilled about going public? Check out Compass's Private Exclusives with Jeff Lautman. With Private Exclusives, your home is shown to a select group of serious buyers. No public listing, no days on market, just real offers from real people. Their network connects you with top agents and qualified buyers, so your home gets the attention it deserves, without all the fuss. Selling your home can be simple and stress-free with Compass Private Exclusives, because your home is special. Call Jeff Lautman, your Compass agent, today to find out more, or visit the Lautman Group online at JEFFLOTTMANN.com.
Hey, this is Tim McKernan, and I am here with Seth Goldcamp of Design Air Heating and Cooling, and I have been a long-time Design Air client. What separates you guys from everybody else?
It's becoming more common for companies to just get their foot in the door. They try to come up with different ways to upsell. They try to see how much they can make off of a customer, as opposed to, hey, we're in there to do a service. We're going to do it well. We're going to do it for a fair price.
I don't know how many emails I have received from our listeners who experience the incredible customer service Design Air Heating and Cooling provides. It's Design Air Heating and Cooling, online at designairservice.com.
Ready to step your game up to the next level? 5P Academy is the place for any high-level 8 to 18-year-old football player. Based in O'Fallon, Missouri, we have national travel, 7-on-7, and flag football teams with professional coaches. Pre-registration for our 2025 season tryouts in November is open now. Come be a part of the championship-winning 5P family. For more details, email info@5pacademy.com or call Dustin at 314-440-8457.
Hey, this is Tim McKernan, and I am here right now with James Carlton of the Carlton State Farm Insurance Agency. I made the switch to start working with you, James. It couldn't have been easier to make that switch to start saving money.
Well, I appreciate that, Tim, and we appreciate your business. Yeah, this is the time to save money. My goodness, we're all feeling it at the grocery store, at the gas pump, etc. So if you've noticed that your insurance rate has gone up, I want to stress how easy it is to get a proposal from us by going online at carltoninsurance.net.
Carlton State Farm Insurance Agency, online at carltoninsurance.net.
There's nothing more important than the look and feel of your home. So now's the time to make your home your retreat. Replace your tired old windows and doors with Marvin replacement products designed to improve comfort and efficiency. Fisher Window and Door Store, a reputable local company, will guide you through the entire replacement process. Their experts will help you make the right choice for your home, and they'll measure, design, and install your new windows and doors.
Hi, I'm Jim Fisher. Since 1941, the Fisher family has provided you with quality American-made building products, including Marvin Windows and Doors. Come visit one of our showrooms in Brentwood or East Alton, and let us help you increase the value of your home.
Bring that distinct sense of quality to every room with Marvin. Visit Fisher Window and Doors' huge newly remodeled showroom in Brentwood, or Fisher Lumber in East Alton, Illinois. Quality and comfort starts at Fisher Window and Door, online at fisherwindow.com.
The choice of a lawyer is important and shouldn't be based on an ad.
If you're seriously hurt in an accident, you'll want all the money you deserve. That's called justice. But there wouldn't be lawyers if justice was easy. No, justice is not easy. It's fought for and it's won. At Brown & Crouppen, we fight for justice every day. If you want some, call 222-2222. Because at Brown & Crouppen, justice is our business.
Biggie's Restaurant and Bar has been a staple of the community for over 30 years and is serving your favorites like the steak sandwich, waffle fries, and so much more. It's not just the food that's rocking. With a full bar and patio, Biggie's is the perfect spot for lunch, dinner, and a little laughter. Biggie's original hours are back. Open 11 a.m. till midnight, Wednesday, Thursday, and Sunday. And 11 a.m. till 1 a.m. on Friday and Saturday. Check out the full menu at biggiesrestaurant.com and stop in today.
Introducing the first ever TMA Banty Brew, a 16-ounce canned wheat ale with orange and coriander and an image of all 4 TMA boys across the front. The Banty Brew, a refreshing ale made with white wheat, ground coriander, and fresh whole oranges. And now you can pick up the TMA Banty Brew at Salt and Smoke or at any area Friar Tuck's location. Must be 21 or older to consume or purchase. See the can at tmastl.com and find a participating location to try it for yourself. Brought to you by Charlottesville Brewery and Winery in St. Genevieve, Show Me Beverages, and Salt and Smoke. Find out more at tmastl.com. KPN-TFM HD2, Collinsville, St. Louis. This is TMA All Day. Rise and shine, St. Louis. It's the Brown and Crouppen Morning After on KPN-TFM HD2, Collinsville, St. Louis. At the Morning After STL on YouTube and on TMASTL.com with Tim McKernan, Doug Vaughn, Iggy Strode, and Action Jackson.
7:07 in St. Louis. You're listening to TMA. It's presented to you by Brown and Crouppen. Welcome to the Munganess St. Louis Acura, Munganess Burkhardt, Alton Toyota, 7 o'clock hour. Come on in. The water is warm, especially on a beautiful Monday morning in St. Louis.
Getting chilly. A hint of autumn in the air, Tim.
Well, fall time is here, and we welcome you to call in to talk about your favorite fall experiences over the weekend in St. Louis. Collier and Thompson phone line, 636-900-4TMA. Text in to the Schaefer Door Company. Text inbox, 636-900-4TMA is the phone lines, 314-881-TMA5. The text inbox the morning after at InsideSTL.com. The Design, Air, Heating, and Cooling email today, and all of a sudden, here come problems.
What? No.
I don't know. But Jackson has moved away from his usual station. Somebody gave him a notification, I assume John Kiowski, and he is now adjusting. He is panicked, and I would imagine the audience isn't happy.
He's on a chair with wheels, and he's wheeling around back there, very much in charge, kind of like Franklin Roosevelt.
Yeah.
In a wheelchair, but still very much in charge of the world.
It's nice.
And he's
spending our damn money.
Yeah, hitting buttons and pushing levers. You got it worked out back there, Frank?
Yeah, I was just centering Iggy's camera. It was a little off kilter, so I centered it.
All right.
Feel free to push it up. Is this working?
Yeah. We're not ready. We're just not. We're not ready with the camera or the mic.
We're ready.
Blues and Wild tomorrow, first home tilt.
You going to the barn tomorrow, Doug?
Well, I would like to. I assume you mean the barn is in the hockey arena, not in the barn off region of my backyard.
Yeah, right. You're always in the barn off.
I haven't scored tickets yet, but if I get them, I'll go.
Why don't you ask for them on the air?
Oh. Boy, it sure would be nice to get a couple of free tickets.
There you go.
We're way down close.
There you go.
That'd be nice. Maybe a suite somewhere. But I'm not begging. I wouldn't do that. I'm not paying anything for them, probably.
I would imagine you'll get an offer before the end of the show.
I know. I'm kidding.
Stephen Wildwood, I thought he was going to be the one to make the offer, but he says I'm hungover, so keep it down.
Okay. Well, you can't turn us off.
I don't understand.
You can turn the radio off if we're being too loud. Can you imagine being mad at the people on the radio when you wake up and you're not ready to wake up and they're being too loud? That's our fault? There it is right there.
See?
I guess it's possible. You turn on your little alarm, radio alarm, and when the alarm goes off, the radio starts playing. They still have those, right? That was a thing for years.
The clock radio.
Yeah.
I don't know.
The alarm would go off and your favorite radio station would be on.
I think most people just use their cell phone for their alarm.
See, now what you're doing right there is most people in your age range, and I would say damn near 98% probably use your cell phone. But what you can't do is go Plowhawk and go Olds Island, because I would imagine once you get into the 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s, it's clock radio season.
Ageist bastard.
That's what I'm saying.
So people are still.
And the Plowhawk wanted to ship people off to the Olds Island. Is that right? What was the age where you went to the island?
He wanted everybody dead at like 65 or something.
I don't share that stance of the Plowhawk. I champion the Plowhawk to have his opinions, and he's entitled to them. But that's not how I feel. I just think, your phone can act as a watch, an alarm clock, an MP3 player. It can do so much.
Sybian.
For me, that's the backup, because I worry, what if the phone dies?
So you set an alarm like on
That's what I do. That's what I do.
And my phone is the backup.
So you're like slapping on the top of the alarm every morning?
Yeah. At least I know it's not going to run out of power and not get me up.
Sure. All right. I withdraw my statement.
Okay.
You don't have your phone plugged in?
I do.
Charging?
But if sometimes, it doesn't charge for whatever reason.
Really?
That's happened a time or two. I just like a backup, that's all.
Nothing wrong with
I like
that.
a hard-wired alarm.
If your electricity goes out,
Well, then the phone would kick in.
what if that power didn't work, like you just said?
Well, then I'd have no alarm at all.
You'd be late.
Yeah. Hasn't happened yet.
Brian Henson just texted in meow.
Oh, so he's not hungover. He's Randy.
I think he's turned on by what Joe Flacco's doing for that club he's monitoring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There he is.
What do people do before alarms? People had to work and they didn't come up with the alarm clock yet?
Rooster. Cock-a-doodle-doo, baby.
Well, certainly people had it harder than we have it now many years ago, but somehow they got through.
Well, I thought about this last night. I was watching the football game, and a commercial came on with a kid frantic because he had his homework and his test paper due the next day, and he didn't have a computer. And he's sitting in the car. What do? I can't find my laptop. Don't work. This paper's got to. What did we do before we had a computer? We got to work. No, we looked at the encyclopedia.
Right. Typed it out.
Kid's frantic because he can't get a computer to work to do his homework.
If you don't have a computer now, you can always go to the library and use one. They got lots of computers for you there.
And are there guys who kick with both legs?
You guys ever go to the library anymore?
Not recently. Look at the bookstore, but not at the library.
Anybody else swing by a local store and get a Learn candle this weekend? That's from the Loom Store. Doug, they have Learn candles now? Is that a Bed Bath & Beyond?
That's not even open anymore.
Those shut down across the board?
Mm-hmm.
Is that right?
Yeah.
I apologize.
One by me.
I guess he's
belly
talking,
up.
I guess he's talking about me.
Well, it's a Learn candle. Do you have an Iggy candle?
No, but there is a Learn candle.
Okay.
What is it?
I won't give the name of the place because I don't think they're a sponsor. But it's down on the hill, and I had to go to the hill Saturday and pick up something from Bertarelli Cutlery. And Learn had, I guess she does some work with this place down the hill, and very quaint little shop. And they did a Learny, weekend at Learny's. And she put the candle together with the scent she wanted, kind of earthy, kind of woodsy. I said, I'll pick one up when I'm down there. So I picked up a Learn candle when I was at Bertarelli because it's like a block away.
All right. And you displayed it somewhere? How would this texter know you had one?
Yeah, the Loomster.
Well, I told Learn. I said, well, I'll pick one up when I'm on the hill tomorrow. And I took a picture of it, and I promoted the company and said, go pick yourself up a candle.
Okay.
How are the sports? Are they great?
Well, they are pretty nice.
You know, Learn's the sports director of the Riz Show.
She is?
Yeah. So if you're into candles like I am, I love candles. It smells good, actually.
Okay. This was in no way an attempt to hit on Learn.
Oh, my God.
Oh, no.
I'm tired of this crap. I really am.
Sounds a little creepy to me. I don't know.
Yeah, support a small business and support Learn. It's really creepy.
Okay. No.
But I'm sure people will.
I'm sure it's a wonderful candle.
It is. Maybe I'll bring it in here and we can light it.
Oh.
No fires in the studio.
Yeah.
Preferred.
Bad idea. Candles are a fire hazard. You have to be careful with them. I assume this Learn candle is not a fire hazard. All safety.
I don't know. I
precautions
like candles all the time. I've never set a fire, so.
Okay.
This guy's like a human restraining order. It's getting really creepy. It's from Arbor Day, and he won the Milagro Tequila Day. There's such a thing as a human restraining order?
All right, so all you people that buy hats from TMA and shirts, you're creepy because you're buying hats.
Think about that, Doug.
Well, it would be a little creepier if it was like, buy this hat because it smells like Doug.
Ooh, that actually sounds like it could get me a soft cow.
Oh. Well, there's been shirts with Doug on it. Suspension logule, those sold out. People who bought those are creeps, I guess.
Oh. I have mine signed.
Me and Plowsy had a Pepper and Genie shirt. If you buy that with our picture on it, you must be creepy.
There you go.
You had to think when you posted that picture there was going to be some talking points about that.
Well, I don't know why. It's a candle. I mean, my God, I've been talking about Learn for what?
Almost every day.
4 years now?
Yeah.
Well, Loomster's loaded for bear here. Anybody else post a political post on Facebook even though they don't post political things? That's from the Loomster.
Again, I've never said I have never posted a political post. No, it wasn't a political post, by the way. I've never said I've never. I said very rarely do I do anything for politics. All I do is post a picture of my upstairs neighbor who's complaining about my cigarette smoking outside on my own patio. He had a sign on his porch. Just took a picture and posted it. Said, this is the guy that's upset with me smoking on my own patio outside.
Oh. Was the smoke going into his unit?
And he had a sign about you smoking?
No, he has a Trump sign on his thing. So I just took a picture and said, shocked. No, it's not. He says it's going. There's no way. It's like the Seinfeld episode with the JFK bullet. It would have to go up, stop, and then go right in order to go into his apartment. And the smoke pretty much evaporates by the time it gets up that. So
well, is he trying to get you thrown out of your place?
Well, he can't get me thrown out because there's nothing against policy of me smoking on my own patio outside.
Okay.
So it really wasn't a political post.
Ooh.
I can't. It's not my problem what he's got hanging on his patio.
You bashed your neighbor for supporting Trump! That's from caller Buzz, and he won the Milagro Tequila Listener of the Month. I think it was June 2023.
Oh, no, I didn't, actually.
Loomster says it sounds political to me.
Okay.
Well, so you had an eventful weekend.
Oh, look at that! Look at this, look at that!
Yeah, I posted 2 pictures on Facebook, and it's turned into a show.
Well, that'll get people stirred up.
Loomster's out for blood after getting doxxed by Ken a few weeks back. That's from Kwame Voyukas IV. So today is the day he's decided to exact his revenge? Boy, he has been sitting on this, I guess.
Well, your name's on the fan page. Your name's on Facebook. Your name is when you come to our TMA events. I mean, are you in hiding? Do you do anything that you don't want people to know your name?
Yeah. Give his government name.
I already did.
Yeah. All right. Yeah.
Look totally political to me. It's from Bob Wagon. Bobby Wagon, Doug.
Well, you can take it any way you want.
Oh, I'm gaslighting you.
Did you gaslight someone?
I don't even know what gaslighting is, just like I don't know what woke is.
Well, we've explained woke on a couple of occasions.
I think you should just use the words however you want. You know, just throw it out there.
Biggie, tell that blowhard Loomster to pound sand. He's a loser. Hashtag in too deep. That's from Smitty. In too deep. Was that a song by Phil Collins? I don't think it's 84, so I'm going to go 86 to get me 85 and 87.
All right.
86.
86. Okay.
And was it Phil Collins or was it Genesis? I'm going to go Phil Collins because he went solo. And did Genesis break up?
It was Genesis.
They broke up, but I don't think until the mid to late 80s with Genesis.
You don't remember what year Phil Collins and Genesis?
Hell no!
And then one of the guys in Genesis formed Mike and the Mechanics, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, he's going to be with us on Balloon Party today.
All right.
Mike Rutherford.
Oh, the namesake of Mike and the Mechanics. And they had All I Need Is a Miracle. And I remember a DJ in like August of, was that 88 or 86? Was it KHTR? It was KHTR 103.3.
Just don't.
And he said, well, this is the theme song for the Cardinals this year. It's Mike and the Mechanics with All I Need Is a Miracle. 72 degrees in St. Louis.
Gosh, it is good.
And I thought, that's what I want to do.
And he made, what, $500,000 a year?
Oh, God. I
think HDR days, I don't think so.
650, 675?
Yeah.
That range.
Did they do
pre-bonus?
Everybody Wants to Rule the World. Was that Mike and the Mechanics?
That's Tears for Fears. Is that 85?
I don't know the years, Tim.
You brought it up.
That's fair. You did bring it up.
Thank you. Why would you like to talk Tears for Fears?
No, I just
They had
think that-
shout, sowing the seeds of love. Everybody wants to rule the world. And then what would you put on the fourth one for the Mount Rushmore?
I just don't know.
Well, you brought them up, and then I
darn it.
engaged, and now I'm the bad guy. This place is out of line today. It's bad. It's bad.
Brought a lot of tension.
It is. And balloon party still 3 hours away.
Still lurking there, hanging over your head.
Yep. Got a sound story at 11:30. I wish, I don't know if I can talk about it. Is it for public, Chairman Kurt?
Give me 1 minute to check their sheet.
Because then I can talk about it, because this is quite a sound story. It's like when Doug found out in mid-interview that he was interviewing Aaron Judge's hitting coach.
Yeah.
I mean, that was one of the great reveals.
Guy does great work.
Yeah. Indeed. I ask, if you do a sound story, you have the option for it to remain private, or it can be made public, as in the audio/video. So that is the choice of the customer.
Non-public.
Non-public. All
Yeah,
right, then
most
I'll keep
seem
it.
to want it that way.
Stop clearing your damn throat! Into the mic! Great yell, Mr. Tim. How about those Minutemen? Thanks. # free perk. Brian Henson excited by Joe Flacco's play, not excited by gluten-free perk being AWOL. Brian Henson.
Okay. That uppercut landed a little bit. Iggy was like 30% crestfallen.
Well, he's a one-trick pony. It's the same thing every day.
Okay. Don't let him get you.
Oh, he doesn't get me.
Okay.
It just gets monotonous and boring.
I played a Tears for Fears song yesterday at Grant's Farm. Stephen Wildwood happened to be there and bought me a Mick Ultra and then gave me a handy between sets.
I don't think he should.
That's from former fan page moderator Neil Allen Craig Paquette.
Between sets, there was a whole band there. No, they do a lot of
Tears for
Grant's
Fears song yesterday at Grant's Farm. So I guess he was performing at Grant's Farm. Stephen Wildwood was there, bought him a drink, and then used his hand on him. There's a lot there. A whole lot there.
Grant's Farm doesn't support that sort of activity. Which one is Grinder again? Have you taken your kids to Grant's Farm yet?
Oh, yeah, they were there this past Thursday, as a matter of fact.
Little
And
kids love
notice I said they, because that was third person. If I was there, it would have been we. But I think my wife took my 7-year-old with his 7-year-old cousin, and they had a Halloween thing.
Oh, yeah.
So I watched the 2-year-old. I guess that was Friday night. That was my Friday night. Effing pony.
Yeah. Your life has changed, hasn't it?
It has. I'm not one of the cools.
No. You were the most eligible bachelor in St. Louis.
Now it's Jackson Burkett.
Many years, yeah.
And he's a man in love.
Yeah.
So now I say it's Sweet Sweet Kai, but that's a Cape Cod guy.
And he's engaged.
It's Iggy.
Still, he's out there. It's Iggy. There you go.
No, I'm not available.
There. So he's in a relationship.
I don't want one.
Oh. Gosh. Well, if you did, you'd be the most eligible bachelor in St. Louis.
Well, maybe next time they have one of those big galas where they auction off people, I'll get up there and my 3/4 zip and
wave a little bit.
I'll bid 10.
Hi, Iggy. How are
There you go.
That's it. I'll bid 10.
Sold. Played Gateway yesterday, and let me tell you, boys, place is pure right now, Doug. Greens are slick as snot. Some Dogtown ties.
Gosh.
It's a two-time.
Yeah, back-to-back. I mean,
There end of January.
God, can you imagine what it's going to be like when people get a chance to play the back-to-back champion?
Yeah, he's the modern-day Dan Hurley.
I played him, and I was ahead of him after like 10 or 11 holes till I fell apart.
Yeah, what could have been.
Which counts. It counts to fall apart.
It does.
Yeah, play 18 holes
And
for
I'm
a
no
reason.
good at all. And if I could challenge him at least, you'd think someone else would have beat him.
Well, it's a stroke. It's a net event.
Oh!
Well, but just saying, like, there might be people better than him, or there might be people way worse than him. But in a net event,
I caught what you're insinuating right there.
No, Dogtown
I've been
ties
around-
an
I've been-
upstanding man.
I've been around the block a little bit.
If you win it twice, it's clearly no fluke.
Boom!
Here you are taking a shot at another senior citizen. You really are an idiot.
Dogtown tie, he's like 35.
I was a senior citizen that lost.
Yeah, but you're so handsome.
Oh.
What Jackson is saying, and I mean, you know, anybody who's been around the block a little bit, you win net events consistently. keep an eye out. That's what he's saying.
You're saying his handicap may
No,
not be?
I wasn't saying. I wasn't insinuating anything. I really like Dog.
It's like in Member Guest when the same guys win the flights. Wow, they must be playing well. Sure, that's it.
Well, there's some net event warriors, but that doesn't change the fact that Dogtown Ty is a true champion. A two-time champion.
I don't know what this means. Stephen Wildwood says his bucket hat annoys me, and I'm looking around the dais, and there is no bucket
This
hat.
is why we need the RE before you send the text.
You're right. I love that. I love that introduction to the program.
He's talking about Schoolboy Q. Who's wearing the bucket cap?
LL Cool J didn't he, Doug?
I thought
Walking like a panther?
I don't know.
Walking with a panther? Was it with a panther?
I don't know!
Then he went to the Andy Cap thing.
Yeah.
Wasn't it the Kangol?
Who has Kankles?
No, the Kangol hat.
Do you like Kankles?
Do I like them?
I feel so terrible for the Kankle holder. I really do.
The Kankle community.
It's a bad
I
beat.
do.
Yeah, I've seen some very athletic people with Kankles just because it's like genetics, and it's a bad beat. It is not aesthetically pleasing.
No. Well, if it's a guy, you can just kind of write it off. I got powerful ankles. Just look at these babies. If it's a girl, you really feel bad for them.
Yeah, it's tough.
It'd be hard to buy shoes with cankles.
Yeah.
Certainly high tops.
I don't know how that happens. And I guess there's nothing they can do cosmetically to get rid of those.
We could research that.
Shave off some flesh?
Yeah,
Muscle?
that's all you'd have to do, I guess.
The greens were also slick back when Iggy left that quote-unquote great putt 40 feet short on 16. That's from Mr. 10,000, who was caddying for Mr. Licks that day, Iggy's opponent, and that's who he was making that putt against, for some context, in case people have forgotten the Fan Page Club Championship first round.
Well, I was trying to make a perfect putt because we were tied going to 16. And I said, I'm going to try to win this hole. If I hit a perfect putt, I'm going to knock it down there stiff. If I hit a putt to get to the hill, it's probably going to go 15 feet past the hole into the fringe. So try to make a perfect putt and one oscillation away.
It was probably the best putt ever made during the
It was the
Fan
best
Page.
putt never made, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely nutted it.
When you leave it 30 feet short, it's right up there on anyone's list of greatest putts.
But one oscillation, it goes another 30 feet down the hill.
Well, it wouldn't
Sometimes
really
you got to try, Doug. You just don't try to, I'm afraid, I'm just going to knock it hard past the hills, gets down there. Yeah, I'm a 3-putt anyway, so what the hell's the difference?
Okay. Gosh.
We're still talking about that?
Mm-hmm.
Guys, regarding Tears for Fears, and they used the RE there,
There you
Jackson.
go.
Did you mention Head Over Heels? Some Ghost Gerbil.
I didn't.
So that would complete the Mount Rushmore?
I'm the absolute worst at musical trivial knowledge. Songs and
I think
song
Head Over
titles.
Heels, Sowing the Seeds of
Absolute
Love, Shout, Everybody Wants to Rule the World. I think that's I think we've done the Mount Rushmore for Tears for Fears.
Okay.
Oh. All right, feel good about it. I feel
That's
good about
enough.
our Munganess St. Louis Acura, Munganess Burkhardt, Alton Toyota, 7 o'clock hour online at stlouisacura.com and altontoyota.com. Jamie Burkhardt and Peter Munganess are wonderful people, and they're going to take great care of you. You need to buy a car, you need to lease a car, you need to get your car serviced, need to get repairs. You go to Munganess St. Louis Acura, Munganess Burkhardt, Alton Toyota. Yeah, there's Munganess all over the St. Louis metropolitan area. These are the two you got to go to, though, if you want to support the sponsors. stlouisacura.com, altontoyota.com, and a number they've set up for our audience to get immediate service. And that number is the following. It's a secret number. 314-252-0029. 314-252-0029. It's Munganess St. Louis Acura, Munganess Burkhardt, Alton Toyota. Doug, guess what? We got a title sponsor. It's Brown and Crouppen, and they re-upped for another year. What?
Oh, did they really? Yeah, well, that's fantastic. You know, they've been re-upping for the people of St. Louis since 1979. That's when the law firm got its start. They are in a new building now down there on the hill, staying in the city of St. Louis, the city that they love, the city that they've helped build, and now they're ready to stand by to help you if you have a potential personal injury lawsuit. Brown & Crouppen is the local law firm here to serve you. Here's how the whole situation works. Maybe you've been in a car accident due to someone else's fault. Maybe the guy was on the phone. Maybe it was one of these big truckers that wasn't paying attention. You got injured because of someone else's negligence. Brown & Crouppen is there to help you. You give them a call. They'll give you a free evaluation of your case. They do work on a contingency basis. There's no upfront cost to you. If you don't get paid, they don't get paid, and they've now won more than $1 billion in compensation for their clients. So if you need justice, Brown & Crouppen is in the justice business. Give them a call at 314-222-2222, or you go to brownandcrouppen.com. Make sure you let them know you heard about it here on TMA. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertising. Past results are no guarantee of future results, and every case is different and must be judged on its own accord.
Iggy, Shooter McGavin has sent in it is. It is a screenshot of your post.
Which one?
My upstairs neighbors complained about me smoking outside on my own patio. What a shock. And then I gather that, is this accurate? Because I don't know.
Yeah.
It's okay. And then it's so you live below this balcony where there's a picture. Doug, you want to take a look so everybody can be on the same page? And I guess you can go to Iggy's Facebook page if you're friends with Iggy on Facebook, or you're on Facebook. You know how it works. And so if you're out there smoking, I can see how the smoke would then go into, is that their complaint? And the complaint from the listeners is that you exposed the picture to show that he had a Trump flag. Am I correct on what the issue is with this?
Yeah, half and half. It was also showing where his balcony is, then how smoke can go up and make a right turn and go into his window.
Well, I would see how it's possible.
It's not really making a right turn. It isn't just going straight up. If that's
but if it goes straight up, it's going straight up past his. It's going past his patio. It's not going up. It'd have to go up and then in.
Well, it's smoke. I mean, it's not a.
It's a vapor.
Yeah.
Oh no!
They cut the vapors.
Bismarck Key. You're going to get kicked out.
But it's also no, because it's not against the policy for me to smoke outside on my balcony, my patio. But I don't blow the smoke straight up. I don't go. I blow it out. So it would have to go out, up, and in order to get into his patio.
Well, if there was a breeze or something, it could easily push it. Oh, that's it.
I'm not going to worry about it because, he lied to me too. Who
lied to you?
Well, I came out one day and there's a note on the concrete in front of my door. It says, "Your smoke is bothering the building. Please stop."
He posted that on your door.
Yeah. It said, "Please stop. It's illegal." Well, it's not illegal. And I asked him, I said, "Did you guys leave a note on my door?" He goes, "No, I saw that when I was leaving this morning, but it wasn't us." I said, "Okay." So then when he came out the other day, came in from work and walked straight up to the patio, I said, "Is there any way you can, I hate to be this guy, can you stop smoking in your patio? It's getting upstairs and it's seeping into the rug and it's giving me a headache." I said, "Dude, it's not going into your house. I don't know what to tell you." I said, "And you know what you just did?" I said, "You exposed yourself as posting the note, even though you said you didn't. So you lied." So I said, "I'll try to blow my smoke out," but I said, "I would suggest you to shut your windows and turn the AC on like most of us."
Gosh, I'm afraid you're going to get thrown out of there.
Well, it's not against the rules to smoke outside on my patio, Doug. Look, I'm very conscious of people that I'm smoking around. I won't smoke if there's people around me. If I'm on my patio and I got people over having a drink or whatever, and they don't smoke, I won't smoke in front of them. But I'll be damned if I'm not going to smoke on my own patio because it may be wafting into some guy's house.
Yeah.
Did you delete the post?
No, Facebook took it down and said something about guidelines. I have no clue what that is.
Fish the People says, "Why did Iggy delete the post?"
I didn't. Facebook said you went against our guidelines, and they wouldn't tell me why. Is it political? Did I fake the Trump thing up there? I don't know. I don't know what's going on nowadays. It's just, I got to take it down one time for posting a picture of Ron Burgundy with a boner. But I don't know what they're...
Sweet, erect meat.
What's a fat
maverick.
crank?
Yeah, I have no reason to take it down. I didn't really care.
Tim, just stop. It's the same guy who thinks smoking in his bathroom with the vent on during the winter doesn't make his apartment smell like smoke. That's from Beer Cats. Angry Beaver, R.I.P.
Well, some people are sensitive to that smoke smell nowadays.
And I'm very sensitive to people that I'm around, but I'm not going to stop smoking on my own patio.
You got support from Morrison Woods Wacko. How about that? Iggy, I hate smokers, but that guy can go suck a D. Do what you want within the rules. That's from the Morrison Woods Wacko.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be different if I was like right next to him blowing it in his thing, but I can't, it's outside. Smoke has a tendency to evaporate. It doesn't just keep going and going and going, especially if I'm blowing it out. And if you look at the picture again, if I'm sitting on my patio and blowing it out toward the parking lot, I would have to go out, up, and then all the way back around to go into his place.
Which it could do if there's a breeze.
Well, it hasn't been very windy lately.
No.
If you just don't think about it too much, though.
Yeah.
I cut it off, damn it.
You cut your own drop off?
It all makes sense.
My bad. Poor execution. Got to look inside.
I just hope this guy doesn't try to exact some sort of revenge.
What can he do?
So can you hear him walking around up there?
Yeah, I can. I may tell him to quit walking. Now, if I really want to be a dick, he has got a huge... First of all, I don't think you're allowed to have barbecue grills on the second floor.
Doug, do you know the bylaws?
I don't know. I haven't lived in
Bottom
an
floor is
apartment.
yes. Second floor, no, you can't. And he's got a huge grill. It's not like my nice little Weber electric grill or portable grill that the Munganess boys gave me. It's kind of a small grill. He's got a huge grill up there. And these, that thing could fall through my patio. His patio and fall onto me. I don't think you're allowed to.
Fall right through the cement?
Well, this place is built in 1972. They haven't done much work to it. So I don't think you're allowed to have one. So I could be a dick and I could just call the complex. This guy's got a huge grill on his second floor patio. I don't think they're allowed. And they'd make him take it down. I haven't done that. May now, but.
Oh, gosh.
No, because his barbecue grill doesn't bother me. So if he get away with it, fine. I do believe it's against the regulations. But if you can get away with it, fine. Have a nice barbecue. I don't care. It's not bothering me.
No.
So the fact that he lied about the Post-it note and then came and said something, so.
Well, the line about the Post-it note is not that big a deal.
Well, it wasn't me. He could have been honest. He didn't have the guts, but then he came and said something to me.
Well, yeah, he was just trying to avoid a confrontation.
Stephen Wildwood, who won the Milagro Tequila Listener of the Year, has sent in what appears to be, Doug, is this an E.E. Cummings format? Remember E.E. Cummings had was that lowercase?
I don't know.
Don't. And then it goes to the next line, live. Then in the next line, and all of these are just one-word lines.
It's like a Cletus post.
I was going to say it's a J. Cletus Watson type post.
Don't live in an apartment that goes for both you and your neighbor. Chairman Steve Wildwood.
Okay.
Don't live in an apartment that goes for you and your neighbor.
He's telling you both, don't live in an apartment, and you won't have these problems with neighbors.
He lives in an apartment.
That's right.
Yes, he does. And what if he smokes there?
Hammers on it.
You talking about masturbating, bro?
Yeah, late night.
Yeah, what, 3 in the morning?
Yeah.
I would think that isn't a problem with apartment buildings everywhere. If someone's going to smoke inside their apartment building, somehow some of that smoke could waft through the air ducts and everything.
Lower level folks. Like if you're on the top level, you probably would probably know this.
But I'm not smoking in my apartment.
Sweet Kai is not happy with the topic and the amount of time that's been spent on it.
Okay.
We sure spend a lot of time talking about the inconvenience of living in Section 8 housing.
I didn't bring it up.
It's not
and I don't mind
8?
talking about it.
Is it Section 8?
No, I don't think so. If it is, I'm not getting any benefits from it.
Have you applied?
Okay, I'm sorry I sent this in. I don't care that much. That's from the Loomster. Doug the Loomster is the one who got it going.
Yeah, it's his fault.
Didn't care, but then we talk about it. I should have never sent it in. No, I think if people know me, I'm very conscious if I'm around people that don't smoke. But I'm not going to worry about me smoking on my own patio outside. I'm sorry, I'm not going to worry about that.
Okay, no more worrying.
And I thought about it for a while, and I said, you know what? The one a catty corner for me, like apartment 2, I'm in apartment 4.
Stop on by.
There's nobody. It's in the facing the back where I used to live, not facing the parking lot. Quiet back there, and there's nobody living there. So I said, you know what? I'll take a chair over there. I put a chair on that back patio and an ashtray, and I was smoking out there for a while.
Now you're in the clear.
But then at night, it's like I can't see back there.
What do you have to see?
Well, it's dark. I have to go around the corner. I have to go through a bush step onto the patio.
Yeah.
And if I miss the patio, so I said, screw it. Why am I doing this? It's my patio. Screw it.
Yeah.
So I went back to smoking on my patio.
I don't know what this means, but maybe you would understand it. Bottom Drippy says, show the Facebook warning message.
Talking about the thing where it got taken down?
Yeah, I guess that's what that means.
I don't know. Still up there? I just got a notification.
He's asking you to show it. That's what he's saying.
Screw you. I'm tired of
That's enough.
trying to prove things to you people.
Okay.
Why would I take it down? Why would I post it and then take it down?
I just don't know.
I thought it was funny.
New sponsor. The federal government is covering Iggy's subsidized rent. Politicized much? That's from Shafty McShamus.
I didn't bring it up.
Well, you made the post, and that's what brought it up to people.
I thought he said government taking care of the housing. That's
Section 8 housing.
Well, I didn't say that. I'm not politicizing anything.
Shut up, Kai. Without your alpha girl drilling your backside, you'd be Iggy's roommate. It's from the Warsaw Woods Wacko.
Oh, man.
Kamala Strode is woke. That's American, the Central West End.
No, I don't support either candidate. I don't really care.
Bold stance.
Well, I'm not. I don't have any political views. I'm not a Democrat. I'm not a Republican.
Yes, you are.
No, I don't think she'd be a very good president. I don't like him. It's as simple as that. He's a vile human being.
Kai, tongue each spoke of my anus and lock eyes with mine as you eat. That's from the recovering alcoholic from Belleville and Webster Groves.
And all that's on the subject of government housing?
How's the new masturbation candle? There's a masturbation candle? That's some beer cans. Oh. Doug, I can't follow that.
Just the term masturbation candle is really funny. I'm not saying you are.
Are there candles that masturbate you?
No, but I guess there's more tantric smelling candles that might get you in the mood.
No, there's just nice woodsy. It's got kind of a hippie feel to it.
Mark Hanna should clip off this segment and play it in a Scared Straight program on what happens when you don't save money for the future. That's some glove blogger Tom Traven.
Well, there's a lot of people my age that live in apartments. Sorry, I'm not wealthy that I can't live in a nice house.
Tom Traven, he's apologized.
Well, that's where Mark Hannon comes in.
A little late for that.
Get hooked up with him at a young age?
Yeah,
you'll be doing great.
That's why we talk about him. Don't wait till you're 67 and try to retire and you can't.
Call him. Maybe he can make magic. His number's 314-889-0503.
Mark, I've got 40 in the bank and you turned it into 100.
$40?
I'm talking to Mark Hanna tomorrow.
Oh, yeah? What are you going to? You're diversifying, aren't you?
He has heard that I've moved, and we just want to talk it over. We haven't talked about 6 months or so, and he always likes to check in. So I'll be talking with Mark Hanna today or tomorrow afternoon. Very much looking forward to it. I love talking with Mark Hanna. I feel better after a conversation with Mark Hanna.
I do too. I couldn't agree with you more.
It could
Doug, he's a special spirit.
Yeah, it could be about finance or life, but the two are often intertwined. So when you talk with Mark Hanna, you end up talking about a lot of things. But in the end, you feel better about where you are than when you started the conversation. You know you're in good hands when you're working with somebody like Mark Hanna of Evergreen Wealth Strategies.
And you said the other day you really like him because he's tall.
Yeah, I had a problem with that. I sent a letter to Jackson.
It's like this guy's
anonymously.
It's like you take stock of everything. And he's like, man, this guy's so good. And then on top of it, the cherry on top is like, and he's a taller gentleman.
He's like, what, 6'1" or so? 6'1"?
Yeah. North of what one would consider tall.
Oh, gosh.
Well,
I think 6 feet.
Full head of hair.
Yeah.
Subtle sexual voice.
Yeah. A beard that tells you, like, you know, he cares about his looks, but he doesn't care just enough that he's going to keep the facial hair. You know, it's a nice mix. You know, he's laid back enough to keep it on there, but he's smart enough to know to tighten it up and make it look good.
Does he give off a vibe that he's some sort of woodsman?
Yeah, he does.
Some sort of outdoorsman?
Yeah, he does. And yet he's a financial wizard.
Yeah.
314-889-0503 or go online at evergreenstl.com. Another woodsman is Dr. Brandon Pryor at 100 West Dental. Boy, when he comes into the studio, Doug, I would say the ladies on the YouTube chat get really worked up, but it turns out it's guys.
Yeah.
And we
stunning turn of developments on this show.
Dr. Brandon Pryor is at 100 West Dental, online at 100 West Dental. You go, I don't want to go to the dentist. It's a pain. I don't like it. I don't want to go. Well, overall mouth health impacts the rest of the body's health. They're not separate just because they're insured separately. And even if you don't have dental insurance, it's not a problem at 100 West Dental. The membership plan aids in the cost of dental work for those who do not have dental insurance. They have a huge offer going on right now that if you mention my name, you get $1,000 off an Invisalign package. And if you're on the fence about Invisalign, they have a digital scanner that can show you a simulation of what it'll look like before you even go through with it. Schedule now. Don't even have to pick up the phone. Just go to their website, 100westdental.com. Check out the available times. Book it. You're set. You're going to 100 West Dental in incredible offices that are located right across from Munganess St. Louis Acura on Manchester in Baldwin. It's 100 West Dental. Dr. Brandon Pryor, 100westdental.com. Get involved on this program. Callier and Thompson phone line, 636-9004-TMA. You're also welcome to participate in the YouTube chat, which looks to be very active. 252 friends of the feather are talking it over and getting to know each other. And MD 2020 says, hey, is the hot dentist coming in anytime soon? So they want him in.
Book an appointment. You can see him there.
Call in 636-9004-TMA. Callier and Thompson phone lines. Text in Schaefer Door Company. Text inbox 314-881-TMA5. And email in for our design, air, heating, and cooling email today, the morning after, at insidestl.com. And you probably should spend some time thinking about it. Doug, can you float me a loan, $1,200, amortized over 60 years so I can ride this puppy this century? They will even deliver, but hopefully let the brown bits ferment on the hashtag crankshaft. And that is looks like an image of a $1,200 Sibian from the Doo-Doo Man.
Oh, God. And he would like me to loan him $1,200?
Yeah.
But he gets 60 years to pay it off?
That's correct.
Well, I guess if the interest rate was high enough, I would go ahead and do that.
So you're going to look at it.
I could charge him what did Jim Hayes Enterprise use?
60.
It's a 60%.
Yeah, it's a 60%. That's industry standard.
Yeah.
Especially after a high holiday.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess I could do that at 60%. I won't be around to collect all 60 years. You'll never get it all paid off while I'm alive. But it'll be nice to make 60% on my money on something.
Good luck. Good. Well, it'd be like 18 cents a year you got coming in.
It's a nice revenue stream.
Well, now with that 60% interest rate.
That's what the 60%.
18 cents?
Yeah.
You just figured that out?
Off the top of my head, I'm just throwing numbers around.
Oh.
Harrison's brother Master says you deleted a Jenny Finch post?
I never posted a Jenny Finch post.
There you go.
All you people took it and ran with it on the Facebook fan page, I'm sure, but I had nothing to do with posting a Jenny Finch picture.
You marked that, Kurt. That's a fun drop.
Which one? The one I kind of messed up fan page?
No, just the Jenny Finch. I never posted a Jenny Finch post. That's funny to me.
No, I didn't. And if you people zoom in on a corner of a picture, look at there's Jenny Finch.
No, that kind of upsets you.
Well, you can do what they want. I mean, I should probably make my Facebook page private. I don't. I let anybody can see it. So.
Yeah.
It's kind of like your Substack.
What's that?
That's a place where people write.
I don't know what that is. Reddit?
No, different properties.
Yeah.
Substack is where former columnists oftentimes have gone to peddle their wares.
No,
like that, Doug?
Subscription-based blog.
Yeah.
People are still blogging.
Writing.
That's got to be a hard way to make a buck.
They still
Who's
blog
doing really well on that? I think some people are actually.
They still blog like crazy at Barstool. Like they always talk about blogging.
And people will pay for that.
No, they're not there. But Substack, yeah, like Kareem has a really good Substack that I know people read all the time.
Well, why don't we all get Substacks?
Yeah, why don't we get into that?
Yeah, can.
You give takes.
You gotta write. You gotta give.
I love writing.
Yeah, you gotta give the return on investment. But yeah, if you write enough,
Yeah,
and
and I
you
have
enjoy
nowhere to go. I mean, I'm not going to do it on Facebook.
I wouldn't suggest that.
I'm not going to do it on Twitter.
Like
So where
start a
else would you
thread.
get- Some personal news.
Yeah, a thread 1 of 67.
Yeah.
God.
Inside STL website still around?
TMASTL.
It redirects to TMASTL.
Yeah, maybe write it on there.
I don't really think it's set up to write there.
Could.
And it wouldn't be monetized. So what was it that Gordon Gekko said? That which is worth doing for money. Is that Gordon Gekko?
I don't know who it was, Tim.
Michael Douglas, 87, Oliver Stone, Daryl Hannah.
She was kind of phased out of that movie.
She was phased out during the movie?
Yeah.
Really?
Well, she's not in it all that much. She's just in that beach scene kind of thing.
Really? She moved in with Bud Fox.
Or I'm thinking of
Spoiler
Sean
alert.
Young. I'm thinking of Sean Young.
Sean Young, I
Sorry.
agree with you on that.
Sorry,
And
Sean
she
Young.
later had a
Yeah.
penis in Ace Ventura? Am I right on that?
I missed that part.
Key part of the scene. That was when all the rage in the early 1990s, where there'd be a big reveal that the female who you might have been attracted to had a penis. And I felt like that was Hollywood beginning to groom people. I look back, I did a thesis on that.
I think Mrs. Doubtfire is in that.
Mrs. Doubtfire, Crying Game. You're exactly right. You're starting to pick up on this.
She went full frontal in some movie.
Robin Williams?
Sean Young.
Sean Young.
Didn't she have mental problems?
Oh, it was like the Australian Outback.
She went to Cleveland Heights High School, where Travis and Jason Kelsey went.
Okay.
It's kind of a weird part for her in Wall Street. It's like she came out as like a Valley Girl ditz.
Yeah, she was phased out.
Can you put some clothes on him and take him up for his nap? Are you staying for dinner? I mean, what the hell? What kind of a character are you supposed to be playing?
Oh, my.
Tim Burkhart, Doug, of Milagro Tequila. And we got that Milagro Tequila Listener of the Month coming up. Who won last month? The Baldwin Beer Bitch? Milagro Tequila Listener of the Month?
Yep.
Just texted me, if you're good at something, never do it for free. That's from the Joker, Heath Ledger version. So essentially, it's kind of the same thing that I think Michael Douglas was saying as Gordon Gekko in 1987's Wall Street, in which Sean Young would later reveal her penis.
But what if you're good at, like, golf or bowling? You should never do it?
You should get paid to do it.
Or you're not going to do it?
No, but like you should monetize being good at something, is what it's saying.
Well, what if you can't? What if you're good at something and there's no way to monetize it? You should stop doing it.
There's always a way to monetize something if you're good at it.
Okay, you were good at bowling. How are you going to monetize that?
Well, I bowled in tournaments and made money. I bowled in leagues and won leagues and made money. I bowled in various things that I made money at.
So why did you stop doing it?
Whether it be jackpots or whether it be side pots, whatever.
Why did you stop doing it?
Well, I've been doing it all my life, and I got tired of bowling.
You get tired of the money?
Well, I wasn't making a ton of money.
No. Well, I'm just saying there's lots of things you could be good at. No one's going to pay you for it.
Not radio.
Yeah.
Think about that.
Oh, gosh, the money we make
Masturbating.
You got to be kidding me.
How about that?
Then again, you could...
You think you're good at it?
I could be, when I work at it. But you can sell it to you could sell it to a sperm. Sell it to a sperm bank and make money.
Yeah, that's true.
I've wasted so much money.
I don't. Do they just take it from anybody? Any age? I doubt any age is acceptable.
I would think,
Eggplant emoji?
I would think you'd have to get a blood test before they accept your sperm.
And I'm quite sure at a certain age they wouldn't accept it anymore.
Sweet Kai wants to know your career earnings in bowling. I guess he hasn't been able to find them on bowlingreference.com.
Well, I'm talking about leagues. I'm not talking about the PBA Tour. I said bowling in leagues and bowling in tournaments, state tournaments, tournaments outside of St. Louis, things like that. I mean, it's not a ton of money, but Doug said, can you monetize it? And I said, yeah, I've made money bowling. But I'm not on the PBA Tour, so you're not going to find me on there. They don't make any money on that tour anyway.
Oh, gosh.
Mr. Nipple says he would pay for an Iggy OnlyFans.
You thought about that?
And do what?
Show your feet at the very least. Maybe full noodle fronted.
My feet are fairly cute for being an old man.
Oh, of course. You got great.
Is this Lexington steel?
Well, I take care of them. I clip my toenails. I don't have those things hanging off all over the place.
Ah.
Gosh. No, I'm reaching for my checkbook.
Come here, big fella.
I don't know. Maybe OnlyFans just set up the camera and watch me take a shower.
No.
Watch me dry off.
And you believe people would pay for that?
No, they wouldn't.
Rolling in.
No, they wouldn't. That's why I don't do it.
Watch me shampoo.
Yes. Here, I'm using the conditioner now.
You can watch The Colonel every Saturday afternoon at 3 o'clock, and people pay him. He was on today, or Saturday, excuse me. He'll be on with us today. Brought to you by James Carlton. 9 o'clock. But he was on there on Saturday, Doug, following the UMass game. Jim Dandy in Amherst.
Yeah, I have to admit I didn't have a whole lot of interest in it. When they're back to playing exhibition games, it's hard to get too excited about it. The only thing that was exciting, or in a bad way, was Luther Burden's injury. Hopefully he's okay.
They were not happy with Brady Cook about that.
Yeah, threw it too high.
Reports are that he's sore but okay.
Yeah, I think Drinkwood said that. But what would he know? He said after the game, nah, he's fine.
Yeah.
Okay. Took him out, no reason to rush him back in a game like that.
Not with the score what it was.
Yeah. I just have a hard time staying excited on a game. Like
I don't disagree. I mean,
the other team
that
really
first
has no shot.
that first Luther Burden touchdown, you're like, okay, they're just not at the level that they're not getting better playing a team like this. They're really not.
Yeah.
Did what they had to do. Terrible scheduling. It's over, and now the season starts. I mean, it started in College Station. I guess it started against Vanderbilt, for that matter. Look at Vanderbilt; they're going to be a top 25 team. They were just on the outside looking into the AP poll, number 26. And, God, if you're Vanderbilt, you're sitting there going, how in the hell did we lose to Georgia State? And they absolutely could have, perhaps should have, beat Missouri and Columbia, and they'd be sitting there at 6-0 with wins over Virginia Tech, a team that, until they got the evidence after looking at it for 7.5 minutes, beat Miami. Then they beat Alabama, would have beaten Mizzou and Columbia, and now beaten Kentucky, team that beat Ole Miss in Lexington and controlled that game, by the way. Not that many people were probably watching it, but I had the old 4-box up on Saturday night, Doug.
Did you?
Yeah, with Oregon, Ohio State, Ole Miss, LSU, Vanderbilt, Kentucky, and I don't know, Florida, Tennessee.
Yeah.
Kind of a wide open SEC. I mean, Alabama almost lost to South Carolina.
Yep. Georgia's had its problem with Kentucky, had its terrible first half against Alabama. I don't really hold the Mississippi State thing against them. I hope people made money. Alan Dadeville and the Pope, both Georgia guys, were all over Mississippi State on that one, and they covered easily. They were getting 33. At the same time, they play Texas this week, so you could understand them maybe kind of taking let's just get this thing taken care of. But I thought it was, I was listening to that SEC podcast, and it's an entertaining podcast, but it's certainly a couple fans. And hey, God bless, they've turned it into a business, and I don't think they grift. Do you listen to that podcast, Jackson?
I'm a big follower of them on Twitter, but I don't necessarily listen to their
Do you think
full
they grift?
podcast. No. They're like, they are so open about how they're just guys who like watching football.
Yeah, but they've turned it into a business, so I'm
And
happy
God bless
for
them.
them. But I mean, you also kind of take it with a grain of salt.
Totally.
But they did their SEC power rankings, Doug. I know you love a good power ranking.
I don't mind them.
I think we could all get who number 16 would be in the SEC.
Mississippi State.
Okay. Who do you think is number 15 in the SEC?
I think I saw this, so I'm going to bow out.
Jackson is going to withdraw from the field. Doug and Iggy, you are in this tournament. Who do you think they have as number 15?
I'm going to say Auburn.
Iggy's correct. And isn't it rather telling that a team that, you know, I think we would all agree would certainly be bottom 4 in the SEC, it's just a matter of where, is now circled as the game that Missouri better win this or else the season's going to go awry.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That the things have changed quite a bit. 11 o'clock kickoff for the record officially. It was going to be 11 or 11:45. 11 o'clock kickoff officially. Is the number, what have you seen the number for Missouri Auburn?
I thought I saw Mizzou as an 8-point favorite.
Okay, I thought I saw something else, but I didn't. I think it was just like
Pulling up right now.
passing. I'm crowdsourcing.
I'm seeing 7.5.
Okay. Yeah, I thought I opened at 8.
They'll be favored against everybody except for Alabama.
I would not agree with that. I think they could be, but if you lose to Auburn, then
if you lose to Auburn, but if it plays out, they beat Auburn, and if they would win the games you think they should win.
I don't really know how much of that exists in college football in 2024.
Not right now.
A lot of parity.
Telling you.
I guess I thought it was going to go the other way, but it looks like the NIL and the transfer portal has evened out the competition more than everybody running to Alabama and Georgia. They've kind of spread out, which is great, I think, for the game.
Then the portal. I think the portal, not sitting out a year and getting...
Well, because if you're a great player, but you're going to not play for 2 or 3 years, you're not going to sit around. So then you go. Yep. And that's so now guys who would be backups on the upper echelon teams go to Vanderbilt, an extreme case, but go to Vanderbilt. I mean, Pavia wasn't somewhere else. I mean, he was at Mexico State. But, I do think it's evened it out. Although there were a lot of near-death experiences for top 10 teams this weekend. Alabama, Penn State,
Tennessee.
And Tennessee, they all wound up winning. And this is something, I don't know where you guys are on it. Oftentimes I see, because it's what I read as a fan, Missouri fans talking about it and how it's bad for Missouri's situation is very simple. I wouldn't say the task is simple, but the road is simple. There is no you lose and you still get into the college football playoff for Missouri. I don't believe. I don't know how that would happen. You either win the rest of your games and you're in, and you can lose in the SEC championship, because if they were to win the rest of their games, they'd be in the SEC championship, I believe. And then you could lose there. So you'd be 11-2 and you're getting in. Or you lose one of the games and you're out. It's that simple. I mean, it's fun to look at other, I suppose if you might be Penn State, perhaps, maybe Alabama even, you got to kind of be paying attention to that. Missouri isn't in that position. Missouri either wins out in the regular season and then they will be in, or they lose any of these games, Alabama being, I suppose, the most obvious one, but hell, South Carolina, Arkansas, I suppose Auburn, it's not like they're a 30-point favorite. Do you guys agree with that?
Yeah, because if you look at Texas A&M's schedule, I mean, they probably shouldn't lose another game, but they do. They have 2 losses. Mizzou would have 2 losses.
Who shouldn't lose another?
A&M.
They got Texas at the end of the year.
Yeah, they got Texas.
Yeah, that's their very last game.
They got LSU.
But I think it's at home, I think. But it's a fairly comparable to Missouri, what they have left. But if they would both go 10-2, they would probably be down toward the final teams to get in, and obviously Texas A&M would get over Mizzou.
I feel like one thing that isn't being talked about, and I guess I understand it, is kind of the math on this. Because you have 12 spots, 1 goes to the group of 5. God bless, whatever. Okay, now we got 11 spots. 4 go to the conference champions of the SEC, Big 10, Big 12, and ACC. So now there's 7 spots left. And if we operate on the premise, which I would imagine we would, that the SEC runner-up and the Big 10 runner-up from their championship games are in, now we are at 5 teams, correct?
Yep.
And who's to say? I don't know. I don't think it's as much of a lock as the SEC and Big 10, but the Big 12 runner-up, and there are some undefeated Big 12 teams out there,
BYU,
and Iowa State, and the ACC runner-up. I mean, if it's Clemson and Miami, So then at that point, and I'm not saying that will happen, but I think we all would agree that it is as close to a fact as possible that the SEC, whoever plays in that championship game in Atlanta and whoever plays in that championship game, I don't know where the Big 10 championship game is, it's been in Indianapolis, those 4 are in. Win or lose, you're playing for the bye, which in college football and the NFL is helpful. And then you got the 1 team from the group of 5, so then at that point you're at 7, then you have the Big 12 and you have the ACC, you're down to 5, and then if either one or both of those runners-up in those conferences get in, now you're down to either 4 or 3. So once you do that, okay, it's not Missouri at 10-2. Missouri at 10-2 with the schedule they have, and I guess their best win is Vanderbilt
currently.
Yes,
it's just not. It's not happening. So you either win and you're in, so they control their own destiny. But worrying about polls and worrying about the polls in general, I mean, it's fun, I suppose, if you want to get worked up on a Sunday, but it's immaterial to Missouri's situation. It's also immaterial to Illinois' situation. Illinois now has got their goofball game with the Purdue thing. Purdue's a terrible team, and so for that thing to go to overtime this weekend was holy crap. And Purdue is not going to have the Vanderbilt turnaround situation.
They got Oregon this week.
So, yeah, keep an eye on a letdown there for Oregon after the Ohio State win. But with that said, Illinois controls its own destiny too. So, they're a 1-loss team with 1 impressive loss, unlike Missouri's blown off the field, didn't look like they belonged in College Station loss. So Illinois controls its own destiny, but both are in a position where they have to win out, I believe.
You need a signature win. You have to, all these teams are going to have signature wins come
So then taking it a step further, and if I operate on the premise of being extreme, 2 from the SEC championship game, 2 from the Big 10 championship game, 1 from the Big 12, 1 from the ACC, and then the group of 5, which takes us to 2 plus 2 plus 1 plus 1. So now we are at 7 spots spoken for. and let's say one of the Big 12 and one of the ACC gets in, the runner-up, even though I think that's kind of being favorable, whatever. So you got 8 spots. Okay? Well, how many from the SEC are going to get in? How many from the Big 10 are going to get in?
Probably
of
2
those
and 2.
4.
Likely 2 and 2 or 3
Okay.
and 1.
So, Alabama, Texas, and Georgia, and I don't know who else you want to include in there, LSU and Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
Mississippi, maybe?
Excuse me?
Mississippi, maybe?
Mississippi's got 2 losses, and one's at home against Kentucky. Mississippi's on a win out or else situation. And because Mississippi has, I believe, Georgia at Oxford, they still have a chance for a signature win. But Missouri has to beat Alabama because Missouri needs a signature win. Oklahoma is not going to be a signature win. And South Carolina, they flirted with Alabama to their credit. I mean, that 2-point conversion to tie the game was there, and Lenora Sellers just missed the receiver. It's got to be eating him alive 48 hours later. So even Alabama doesn't look like it looked following their win against Georgia. South Carolina looks better, but they're a 3-loss team at this point. And Arkansas, which looked like it would be the Sam Pittman interim coach game, that looks like that could be a test. But either way, it's not going to necessarily, at least be likely to be a game that goes, Missouri beat Arkansas. So my point being, I don't see any other road for Missouri into the college football playoff other than win out.
Yeah.
And that's it. I mean, I'd love it if somehow 10-2 could get in as a Missouri fan, but I just don't see how that's going to be once I start, you're at 12 and then you start doing the math. Already 5 spots are spoken for.
Yeah.
And you're not going to be in the SEC championship game as a 2-loss team in the SEC when 2 of those losses are to A&M and Alabama because you're not going to win the tiebreaker there.
Right. Yeah. Once you lost to A&M, it turned into you got to beat Bama because Oklahoma has proven
not just
nothing.
lost to them. You got it.
Right,
The Ole Miss's loss to LSU looks different than Missouri's loss to A&M.
Totally. The Missouri loss to A&M looks
Georgia's loss to Alabama looks different than Missouri's loss to A&M.
The Missouri loss looks closer to Oklahoma against Texas.
Yes, absolutely.
And that tells you that Oklahoma is not the game you thought it was going to be. That means you got to beat Bama because you need the signature win. All these teams are going to have signature wins, or they're going to be undefeated like the Big 12 teams.
Mizzou's going to have to make a major improvement just to be in the conversation for a playoff team. What have you seen so far from Missouri that makes you think this is one of the top 12 teams in the country?
Guess you didn't see UMass be held scoreless in the second half.
I've seen them play an extremely soft schedule, get by 2 of those games by the skin of their teeth, and get boat raced by the one good team that they played.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to take a massive turnaround. It's going to take a total. They cannot look anything pretty much like we've seen, especially over the last 3 or 4 games, to even have a sweat of running the table. But if they can look like what they looked like last year at some points, then maybe. Who knows?
If a team gets blown out in their conference championship game, are they still going to get in? In the SEC and the Big Ten, yes.
Probably so.
And I would put a period at the end of that sentence. And if not, then what you're going to create is a situation in which teams finish in the top 2 in those conferences in particular, and they're going to be disincentivized.
Yeah,
if
all
that's a
hell
word.
will break
I don't know if
loose.
that's a word, Doug.
Well, we'll go with it.
Okay.
All hell will break loose if a team that
So that's what I'm
deserves
saying.
to be
And I just
there.
don't think people are, and I understand because, hey, every weekend you got something. I mean, this is just outstanding.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a straw man going on amongst college football analysts. And maybe I'm missing the obvious one. I'm talking about like Incredible Person, not like a Twitter account. Everybody was talking about how the 12-team playoff was going to devalue the regular season, but look at this. And I'm just like, who was saying that?
Yeah, I don't
if anything, there was greater anticipation for the season. So it's just like straw man season. So every weekend, not only do you have teams who are great teams, big brand names fighting for their lives. I mean, I think that's happened every weekend. I mean, that Oregon team that played, in Ohio State, that won't be held against them, and it shouldn't, to go to Eugene and play that caliber of a game. But Oregon was fighting for their lives early in the season against Idaho and Boise State. So, that's the same team that just beat Ohio State, which, from my standpoint, by the way, would still be a nice value play as far as the college football playoff championship. But Ohio State has to go to Penn State.
Yeah.
Penn State's number 3 in the country. I mean, God bless. But
They need a test.
Penn State's probably going to get in.
Mm-hmm.
Oregon, Ohio State, and Penn State are probably all going to get in.
Notre Dame's a threat too.
And Notre
They have
Dame
the one
is
bad loss, but they got some good wins too.
Notre Dame is also in a position, I believe, of like Missouri, because of who they lost to at home, that they have to win out. But they absolutely can win out when you look at their schedule. I also, by the way, could see them losing to Georgia Tech this weekend. I'm not saying I expect it. I'm just saying
They have a win at A&M, and Missouri just got hammered at A&M.
Yeah.
Who does Indiana have left?
They have Nebraska this weekend for what is an absolutely huge game. They also play Michigan and Ohio State. But if you're bringing up Indiana because it could be in the playoff talk, I think it's absolutely live because I think Indiana at 11-1 is in the mix.
Yeah.
Because when you look at their schedule, they got something going on. If Indiana were a brand, they'd be getting talked about, but they're not, and so they're kind of viewed like, I guess, Iowa State a little bit. Iowa State's undefeated. BYU has looked really good, by the way, especially as of late. I mean, they beat up on Arizona. It's not like Arizona's terrible. And they went into SMU and gave SMU their only loss, and beat the hell out of Kansas State and gave Kansas State their only loss. So you have two undefeated teams in the Big 12. If those teams win out and then play each other in the Big 12 championship game,
There's a chance both get in.
they're both in.
Yeah.
They're both in because one's 12-1 and one's 13-0.
Right.
And that's that.
I would like to
But like I said, if we all agree though, if Missouri wins out, they're in.
Yes, because you'd have a win at Bama.
out and lose by 50 in the SEC championship game, they're still in.
You win at Bama, your odds to make the playoff shoot up.
And you win out. I mean, that's the key. Because I think what you're going to see here over the next 6 weeks is you're going to see a lot of teams that you didn't expect to win against some brand names. I mean, it becomes. Holy crap, did I love Tennessee minus 14 against Florida. Oh, cats and dogs. And I don't know what I was doing, but I couldn't get the bet in, and I'm very grateful for that because I loved Tennessee minus 14. And for the second straight week, they're losing 3-0 at the half. Holy crap, Josh Heupel offense.
Yeah.
With Nico at quarterback, shut out and Florida should have been up by way more than 10 at the half on that game. So that might be the Billy Napier farewell tour. Expediting the Billy Napier farewell tour.
I wouldn't mind seeing some team go undefeated and get left out and be given the Florida State Award.
I just don't see
to pick on some team every year.
In a 12 team, I don't see how that could.
Probably not. A group of 5, maybe.
They would win their conference if they went undefeated. Yeah. Or I guess you could go undefeated in the regular season.
Doug, what percentage would you give it that Missouri finishes the regular season 11-1?
1%.
Jackson.
3%.
Ken Iggy Strode.
That's the ballpark. 3%, 4%.
Good. I got to tell you, I think I'd go 5%, but we're all in the same nape of the woods.
Bama's proven
haven't seen it. But the issue actually isn't Alabama. It's Missouri to date.
Yep.
And I'm not. By the way, I mean, hey, he's fine. The Luther Burden thing is something to keep an eye on. And the fact that ball was thrown high and it led to that, and it happened in the second half.
Yeah. Against UMass.
I mean, what are we doing?
We're halfway through the season now. I think we have a pretty good idea who Missouri is at this point.
I disagree with that. I do disagree with that.
I think you're dreaming if you think they're going to all of a sudden turn a switch and be this powerful team that can hang with the Alabamas of the world. I don't think they have the team.
I understand that, but you have other teams like Notre Dame that could absolutely go 11-1 and lost at home. I mean, they have the worst loss of anybody in the top 10. That's not even, I would imagine, unless I'm missing something.
No. Alabama.
Alabama.
That was a road. They're on the road.
Oh my God, absolutely not. Vanderbilt's on the verge of the top 25. Northern Illinois is dreadful.
Why do you hate the Huskies?
It's without question the Northern Illinois loss. So, yeah, I mean, I keep going back to with Vanderbilt. That's a team that, God, if they beat Georgia State,
they could be like the number.
They're probably top 10 still. You know what I mean?
Yeah, if they beat
with losing to Missouri on a game that God, I mean, sitting there, I'm like, oh, God, they're going to win this game. I just didn't think they were any good.
If they won both, they'd be the number 3,
But
maybe even
everybody
2.
could say that. Everybody could say, well, if we just won that game,
Right,
we'd be ranked higher.
but they wouldn't. They don't have a win against Alabama. That's the difference. Is they have a major
and Virginia
signature
Tech and at Kentucky, where Ole Miss, Ole Miss didn't lose there. Ole Miss lost in Oxford to that team. So what strikes me about this year, and I think it is also something to think about from a gambling on college football perspective, is they've shortened the games, which then lead to fewer plays, which then increase variance. And then in addition to that, you have the transfer portal, which then equalizes the rosters to an extent or reduces the disparity. And so that combined with NIL, you have 3 material factors that have changed the game that have allowed brand names that usually skull pound teams to be depleted. And while the skull poundees now are in a spot where they can actually compete. And so there is no such thing as an automatic win. I'm not sure, by the way, that I would imagine Notre Dame's loss to Northern Illinois will remain the worst for a top 10 team. But hell, I don't know. So while I would give it 5% of Missouri finishing 11-1, and what are they, 5-1 right now?
Mm-hmm.
I would give it 5% that they finish 6-6. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, I get where you're coming from with that.
And I mean, Illinois, and here they are, winning in Lincoln and hanging with Penn State in Happy Valley on a Saturday night, and then they're fumble effing around with Purdue. Holy crap. That was stunning. I mean, I know most of the country's not paying attention to Illinois, like we should be anyway around here. But Jesus, Mary and Joseph, that had to be one of the worst ones of the weekend as far as spread relative to outcome.
Yes, for sure.
Would it have been?
I'm trying to think. Tennessee, Florida would be up there.
That was 14. Illinois was a much bigger favorite than that.
Yeah, that was probably the biggest that came close to being scary.
What was Alabama's number on South Carolina?
14.
I was thinking it was 14, but then that sounds so low. Boy, I bet some people lost some money on that. I bet Alabama was chalk city. How about the Vanderbilt chalk one, Jackson?
That covered with.
That just struck me as I'm like, I get it's chalk.
Ooh, Bama. I'm sorry, Bama was 21.5.
Okay, yeah. You got going on over there?
I have to blow my nose and go to the bathroom.
All right, do it.
You gotta go pee.
Yeah, but every time I go out, though, you just left the studio. So I'm going to tell you why I'm leaving. I go to the bathroom and blow my nose.
You could do what we did in grade school. One hand means you got to go pee-pee. One finger. 2 fingers means you got to go poo-poo.
Clip that off.
All right.
There it is. There was such a ruckus. Usually I just kind of, when I'm trying not to pay attention, I just turn, and I block it out. It's like Raiders of the Lost Ark. Don't look. But that was just, there's too much.
He's getting everything organized.
For a big 8 o'clock hour. Let's see. Hey, Doug, maybe Drink is hiding the real offense behind the curtain, and we're going to see it this weekend.
Sure. We've heard that for, 2 months now? No, the quarterback's not the same guy he was last year.
Yeah,
and it affects everything.
And I get the sense that the receivers aren't really enjoying it. That's an undercurrent. Brett Norfleet's, God bless him for playing, but he and Brett Norfleet, and what that does is it removes the underneath route as an option, and probably also impacts his ability to block. And I mean, hey, I want to see it turn around. Don't get me wrong, but. Like I said, 5%. And I was the high one at 5%. So,
Yeah, the match.
It's not like if they beat Auburn, you go, all right. I mean, you want the chance to con yourself into thinking something can happen. But it's going to be a night game in Tuscaloosa. I mean, hey, by the way, Alabama or Tennessee will have 2 losses after this weekend because they play each other. Alabama -1 in Knoxville. That's a 2:30 start, St. Louis time. I would imagine that Eastern in Knoxville. And then you got Georgia and Texas. And Texas is -4 on that one. Yep. The thing about Texas is while they've been dominant, I just don't know how they've beaten big brands, but I don't know if they've beaten good teams.
Exactly.
And I'm not saying this to take a shot at Texas. I got nothing against Texas. I got nothing for Texas. God bless them for getting Ryan Wingo out of the University High School, because that's working out quite nicely for them. He's going off as a freshman. But Michigan's a brand and defending national champion. Oklahoma's a brand. But I just don't know if they're a great team.
Yeah, we're going to find out much more about Texas at the end of this week. Once they play Georgia. But they've looked outstanding.
But they've dominated.
Yes, they have not messed around. They've been the only team.
Ohio State has dominated, right, up until this past weekend, whereas Oregon had messed around with Idaho and Boise State, but then they got it right and beat the hell out of a couple randos. So that is the weird thing, because you go, okay, I don't know, like Gabe keeps going back, and Gabe will be with us at 9 o'clock. I don't know if anybody's really good, and it's not that teams aren't good, it's just if you grew up and you're around my age, and Gabe's a year older than me, but if you're around our ages, you grew up with, there were clearly one or two teams that were in another world, and then there was everybody else. And I don't know if that's the case this year. I don't think people would say that about Oregon, even though they're 2 in the country. I'm very confident people wouldn't say that about Penn State, even though they're number 3 in the country. And so you got a weird spot. And Penn State, by the way, only has really one tough game left, and that's at that's at home against Ohio State. So Penn State is sitting super pretty.
Yes.
But I just think when the conversation comes up about rankings and how many spots are out there, I'm like, there aren't that many spots out there. You could make a case that for the non-group of 5 winner and the non-championship game teams, if all 8 of those teams get in, and I don't necessarily think that's going to be the case for the record, but it's possible, especially when you see some of these teams that are undefeated in the ACC. Don't forget Pitt.
Yep, they're undefeated.
I never thought I would say that. I don't know if that's going to last, but they're still undefeated because Cal can't make field goals. Miami is still undefeated despite its unique situations. And then Clemson looks like the best team of them all, right, in the ACC?
Certainly since the last couple of weeks.
Since the Georgia game period, I think. Yeah. So, I think the ACC's got a really good chance of getting 2, and I think people outside of the Big 12 are hoping the Big 12's only going to get 1. But if they all get in from those conference championship games, you now have 3 spots left over. And they're not all 3 going to come from the SEC.
Watch out for Penn State at Minnesota late in the season. Late in November.
Skyuma.
Watch out for Penn State at Minnesota.
Look at Jackson.
Lord.
How about
Watch
that, Doug? Are you watching out for it now?
No, I'm not going.
I'm telling you,
maybe we just make it a 24-team playoff, and any team with a decent record gets in, and we won't have anybody's feelings hurt.
You talk about the tournament.
Yeah,
How are you going to look someone in the eye who's ranked 23rd and tell them you're not in?
I'm just telling you, I think the season's already had its share of chaos, but I see chaos on the horizon. In particular, perhaps for a team like Georgia, which I don't think too many people would say, well, they don't have a very good team. I mean, their losses at Alabama, but they did have their near-death experience in Lexington, where Vanderbilt controlled the game just last weekend. And Georgia could be sitting there at 2 losses in 5 days,
Oh, yeah.
And it's not like they're done after that. So...
Well, let them pound sand. They've had their moments.
So, is Georgia at 3 losses get in over a 1-loss team? I don't know.
No,
it'll be fun, though, come November.
That's what I'm saying. Oh, yeah, because what will happen is the brand names get excuses made for them, and the non-brand names are lurking. There are a lot of them out there, get narratives built up against them to get the bigger brands in. And I don't think it's necessarily done with an agenda so much as it's done with subconscious bias.
We don't put too much stock in the polls now. But if you look at it, if Mizzou would have beat Texas A&M, they'd probably be 3, maybe 4.
And if your aunt had balls, she'd be your uncle.
Clip that off.
Well, I'm just saying, if you look at the poll, they probably be 3
I
or 4.
would say they would probably, again, if it's like a tight game, they would either be 3 or 4. Who's 4 right now, Jackson?
Ohio State.
Yeah, it depends also how you do not that it matters, because again, but when people put their rankings in, as if people really work on this, like the coaches, like they're really paying attention. They have the sports information director or their assistant sports information director fill those things out. and the writers who are covering a team and not watching games. So it's already dogma. But when you vote for these, is it based on who you think is the best, or are you based on what is their record, or are you based on, you know what I mean?
It's not record because Miami's 6 and they're 6-0 and they're sitting behind Ohio State and Georgia.
Well, I mean, but it's not record for maybe a person, but it might be record for another person. You know what I mean? It's
I mean, the AP poll is so. I mean,
well, that's why even spending a second on it, it's something to talk about, but
it's nice to put on the Chiron on the
when we have Biggie's Facebook posts with the Trump flag. I mean, we don't need things to talk about here, right?
Yeah. My point was that we don't pay attention to it. It's really no big deal. But the fact is, that if they'd beat Texas A&M, they'd probably be 3 or 4. Instead, they're 19, and they were actually 22 before last week.
They might be better than that if they didn't get blown off the field.
Right. I agree with both your statement, Iggy, and both your statement, Jackson. Yes. One of the things you don't want to have attached to you as a college football team that is not a brand name is fraud alert. And Missouri has not only had fraud centerpiece at an 11 o'clock kick on ESPN with blown off the field by A&M. You have the near-death experience with Vanderbilt, which looks different now, but nonetheless. And then the week before that, you had the Boston College thing. And even though that wasn't really that close, they were down 14-3, and had they not gotten a first down at the end of the game, Boston College has the ball with a chance to win the game. And Boston College has since lost to Virginia. So Boston College's shine has been reduced. So Missouri has 3 things going against them, and they don't have a win that you can point to that even if you're Ole Miss, you sit there and go, okay, well, Ole Miss is going to have an opportunity. And Ole Miss did go into South Carolina and beat the hell out of South Carolina. And I realize it's South Carolina, but you saw what South Carolina did with LSU and with Alabama. But South Carolina got blown off the field by Kentucky. So that's the thing. It's like, I would imagine college football would be a tough one to be wagering on relative to those who might have been successful with it in the past. And so I'm glad I have withdrawn from the field, because it just isn't as clear. I think I always found the NFL to be the toughest one to bet on, but college football is just chaos. And like I said, I loved Tennessee minus 14, and Tennessee was incredibly fortunate to win that game, and incredibly fortunate they weren't down by like 17 at the half. They can't move the football.
I don't mean to scare you boys, but I'm approaching emergency territory with my bladder.
Wow.
I have to be so
Is it
bad.
one finger or 2?
It's like starting to hurt.
Virgin, where will Herb's X be this weekend?
Hopefully the urinal, because I got to
raise a finger.
Wow. It sounds like you want to.
You want me to hop in?
You want to be
wrong with the prostates in here?
It's 8:28, so we ought to break anyway, because we got the Colonel coming up at 9 o'clock. This is TMA. It's presented by Brian Crouppen.
KPN-TFM HD2, Collinsville, St. Louis. This is TMA All Day.
Biggie's Restaurant and Bar has been a staple of the community for over 30 years and is serving your favorites like the steak sandwich, waffle fries, and so much more. It's not just the food that's rocking. With a full bar and patio, Biggie's is the perfect spot for lunch, dinner, and a little laughter. Biggie's original hours are back. Open 11 a.m. till midnight, Wednesday, Thursday, and Sunday. And 11 a.m. till 1 a.m. on Friday and Saturday. Check out the full menu at biggiesrestaurant.com and stop in today.
The choice of a lawyer is important and shouldn't be based on an ad.
After a serious car accident, people have 2 questions. Why me, and what now? Well, no one knows why you, but I'm Terry Crouppen, and my law firm Brown & Crouppen sure can help with the what now. Car repairs, medical bills, lost wages, pain and suffering. We're Brown & Crouppen, and we've got all those answers. All you have to do is call 222-2222.
If you talk to someone who has had a kitchen remodel, say, from Collier and Thompson, they'd probably love to show it to you and say, look what our place looks like now. Collier and Thompson does it, and they do it right. Also, football season is here. You might want to update that man cave. Nothing better than sitting in a comfortable man cave, and Collier and Thompson can make it look like the best place in your house. You want an appliance? Maybe an appliance for the holidays. You're thinking about that. They've got the top brand names. They got Bosch, Thermador, Wolf, Sub-Zero. Got them all. Old Stacy is the appliance guy. He'll do you right. Matthew and Eric are the appliance installers. Also, they are looking to hire hire some lead contractors. If that is your line of work and you'd like to work for the best company in town that does this sort of stuff, Collier and Thompson is the one to look for. They've got almost everything, and it's all right there in-house. No need to go to 5 or 8 different places to remodel one room. With Collier and Thompson, the countertops, appliances, lighting, flooring, hardware, plumbing, electric, you name it, it is all right there in-house. They will take absolutely great care of you. Collier and Thompson on Manchester and Baldwin, next to Uncle Bill's Pancake House. Collier and Thompson, come home to quality. Online at collierandthompson.com.
Thinking about selling your home, but not thrilled about going public? Check out Compass's Private Exclusives with Jeff Lotman. With Private Exclusives, your home is shown to a select group of serious buyers. No public listing, no days on market, just real offers from real people. Their network connects you with top agents and qualified buyers, so your home gets the attention it deserves without all the fuss. Selling your home can be simple and stress-free with Compass Private Exclusives, because your home is special. Call Jeff Lotman, your Compass agent today to find out more, or visit the Lotman Group online at JEFFLOTTMANN.com.
Hey, this is Tim McKernan. I regret not managing my finances better in my 20s and my 30s, and now I see how crucial it is for achieving major life goals. Mark Hannon with Evergreen Wealth Strategies helps everyday people every day with their finances, discussing cash flow, liquidity, investments, insurance, and tax-efficient strategies. No matter your financial planning stage, Mark will boost your confidence and keep you on track. Learn more at evergreenstl.com.
Equitable Advisors, LLC, member FINRA, a broker-dealer, and a SEC registered investment advisor. Equitable Financial Advisors and MI. Evergreen Wealth Strategies is not a registered investment advisor and does not provide tax advice.
This is wide receiver Luther Burden III. Come support NIL and get a quote from my friend James Carter.
Thanks, Luther. That's right. For every quote you mention Luther Burden III, we'll make a donation to NIL on your behalf. Check us out online at carltoninsurance.net. 314-961-4800.
There's nothing more important than the look and feel of your home. So now's the time to make your home your retreat. Replace your tired old windows and doors with Marvin replacement products designed to improve comfort and efficiency. Fisher Window and Door Store, a reputable local company, will guide you through the entire replacement process. Their experts will help you make the right choice for your home, and they'll measure, design, and install your new windows and doors.
Hi, I'm Jim Fisher. Since 1941, the Fisher family has provided you with quality American-made building products, including Marvin Windows and Doors. Come visit one of our showrooms in Brentwood or East Alton, and let us help you increase the value of your home.
Bring that distinct sense of quality to every room with Marvin. Visit Fisher Window and Doors' huge newly remodeled showroom in Brentwood or Fisher Lumber in East Alton, Illinois. Quality and comfort starts at Fisher Window and Door. Online at fisherwindow.com.
Hello, it's me, Tom Schmidt. I'm happy to tell you about Salt and Smoke and all the...
I'm going to let you finish, Tom, but first, why don't you take a break, okay? You've been doing this for 57 years. Have you had time to think about that? Waffle cones, World's Fair? No. Lean brisket, popovers, Cracker Mac, whiskeys, bourbons, custom cocktails, maybe even wings trashed. I don't know. But that doesn't matter if you don't accept my love, Tom. Will you accept my love? Will you kiss me?
Salt and Smoke.
Oh, and Iggy should quit.
Hey, if you like the morning after, check out Balloon Party on 101 ESPN. HD1, by the way. It's sports talk with Tim McKernan and Action Jackson from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. each weekday, right after the morning after. It's the worst named show in the history of radio, but the content's pretty good, so check it out on 101 ESPN or get the podcast on the TMA app. Want to take on some legends of TMA?
Sound the same to someone who gives a damn about the best fans in baseball! Tired of it!
The show's so great. Will there be a little speaker system out behind the dumpster, so in case you're servicing me, I'll be able to hear my name?
Then nominate yourself to be this month's TMA Listener of the Month. And if you win, you'll get recognition and other stuff. Sometimes all you have to do to win the prize is be a female.
All it takes is one fake girl to just throw this show completely off course.
Give us your name, a photo, and other pertinent information at TMASTL.com. The TMA Listener of the Month Club, quenched by Milagro Tequila. Welcome to a brighter side of tequila with Milagro. Find out more at TMASTL.com.
It's the Brown and Crouppen Morning After.
On KPNT HD2, Collinsville, St. Louis.
Lane Thomas.
Grand slam.
Jack Flaherty.
7 innings, no run, 2-hit ball. Tommy Edmonds scored a run, put a good shortstop.
Nice sacrifice.
Mm-hmm. It hurts. It's just painful is all it is.
It's always tough when we start at the 8 o'clock hour on Monday to think about the things we miss, the things we fail at, which are many.
Right.
It's TMA. It's presented to you by Brown & Croup, and welcome, friends, to the Fisher Window and Door Store 8 o'clock hour. You're welcome to get involved on the program by calling in the Callier and Thompson phone lines, 636-900-4TMA, texting in to the Schaefer Door Company text inbox, 314-881-TMA5, and emailing in for our design, air, heating, and cooling email of the day. Doug, show announcement.
Right now we have an announcement.
Show announcement.
That's exciting.
TMA brings you the 3rd annual TMA Trivia Night on Friday, February 15th at St. Gabriel's.
November 15th.
What did I say?
February.
November.
Oh, we wanted to give you a heads up. November 15th at St. Gabriel's. All trivia, sports, entertainment, St. Louis-centric trivia, and a TMA round thrown in as well. It's all hosted by the TMA guys. Can purchase single tickets, tables of 8, or anything in between. Tickets go on sale this Friday at 8 a.m., $50 a person. Tickets will include food from Heavy Smoke Barbecue, plus beer, canned cocktails, and seltzers from Show Me Beverages while supplies last. Please drink responsibly, but please feel free to bring your own food and beverages as well. Doors open at 6:30. The event's at 7:30. It's Trivia Night at St. Gabriel's on Friday, November 15th.
Oh,
what?
Tickets going on sale this weekend, Doug. TMASTL.com. On Friday, I apologize.
I went to my calendar on my phone to see if I had anything on the 15th, and this trivia was already in there.
Look at you.
Well, you were maybe in a meeting where they told us it was coming up. They set the date months ago.
I think we all
okay.
said. I think Tim might have sent a text months ago.
Maybe I have access to your phone.
Yeah.
Exciting.
Yeah, you're already taken care of.
So Jesse Kioski sent that out, and that is what's going on Friday, November 15th, 7:30 p.m. at St. Gabriel's. Get your table together. TMASTL.com. Tickets going on sale this Friday at 8 a.m., $50 a person, includes your trivia, barbecue from Heavy Smoke Barbecue, beer, canned cocktails, seltzers from Show Me Beverages, and you're welcome to bring your own food and drinks as well. TMA Trivia Night at St. Gabriel's, Friday, November 15th, 7:30, and then you get ready for Missouri, South Carolina.
As I understand it, when people show up to this, they're not required but encouraged to throw hosannas at the feet of the statue of you that's outside the church?
That's correct.
Okay.
Why wouldn't they?
So they can get in.
Weird question, man.
But they really should put something at your feet.
If they know it's good for them.
There was a picture, because KC just had their trivia night at St. Gabe's, and they had a picture.
KC did it there too?
Yeah.
Is this the only school in town?
Well, it's the best school in town.
Oh.
But it was funny. I don't know if he was actually pointing to it, but it looked like he was. But they had a picture of all the tables and people mingling. There's one guy, if you look at him, he's pointing up to all the banners.
Yep.
Pointing up there like that.
Yeah, I mean, that's got to be a scene for somebody to come in and see that much pageantry.
Right. The school's been there, 100 years? And we won a
75.
Parcheesi tournament at one point?
That's what he was pointing to.
Is it 75? Was the 50th anniversary in 84?
I don't know.
That doesn't seem right. Can't imagine it was built in 34.
It's been there a long time.
Tam and Nottingham, Jack.
Yeah.
Show your respect. Yeah. Hey, do you want to support the EDF Group as a sponsor of TMA? It's real simple. Do you have a fire extinguisher at your work? The answer is yes, you certainly do. So please email the EDF Group at fire@theedfgroup.com so a technician can come out and explain to your team how the EDF Group can save your company money. Again, that email address is fire@theedfgroup.com. The EDF Group is hired and will prevent your facility from having high fires. Experience the EDF Group difference. Learn more at the edfgroup.com. Doug Schaefer, Door Company, sponsored the text inbox, and it's a Monday, and people might have had their garage door springs break over the weekend. Guess what? Schaefer's got it all set up for you with time windows to go out and get it taken care of right now.
Well, a lot of people use their garage door a lot on the weekend. I guess that's why statistically it would make sense that Monday morning might be a time when a lot of people have problems with the garage door. But as you said, Schaefer Door is right there. It's actually not that funny, but they're right there to help you. I don't think anyone starts laughing when the garage door stops working. They go, oh, boy, this is a good time. You don't. You're mad. You're frustrated. So who do you call? You call Schaefer Door at 636-782-3608, or you go to their website at schaeferdoor.com. I'm going to go ahead and spell Schaefer now because it's fun. Schaefer. That's Schaefer Door. There's also another company in town, Schaefer Electric, I believe, that spells it differently. That's why we make a big deal out of spelling Schaefer Door Company correctly. SCHAEFER. Whether you're a residential or you got a big warehouse with tall, giant doors that need fixing, Schaefer Door, right there to help with those as well. Any kind of door, any make or model, they will fix. They do service, and when they do new installs, they use LiftMaster garage doors. LiftMaster door openers are strong, quiet, and versatile, and that's what you would want, and Schaefer Door can put those in for you if you need it. It's a business with multiple family members working there. They're technicians have worked there for many years, and their service techs are not commission-based. So if you have a problem, they're not going to come out and try to sell you an entirely new door if you don't need it. If it's just a small part, that's a small part that you'll get. Schaefer Door, it's where I went to have my garage door fixed, and they'll take good care of you, too. Schaefer Door is a LiftMaster partner.
There it is. Schaefer Door Company sponsor the text inbox. You can text in 314-881-TMA5. And Design Air, sponsor of our email today, online at designairservice.com. Send your emails in the morning after at InsideSTL.com. Design Air Heating and Cooling online at designairservice.com. And Doug, you know what? You're sitting there saying, hey, Timmy, it's October 14th. And I said, don't worry about it, Jack. You know what? A week from tomorrow, we'll have a high of 77. If you're heading to Columbia this weekend, if you're Herb's ex-girlfriend, sunny and 74. Are you horse plowing me? This is glorious conditions. Unbelievable. Jackson, you going? I can't get an answer out of this effing guy. It's brutal.
I know. It's brutal. He's got to pee so much that he doesn't.
No,
That's the issue.
I'm good now. I still haven't decided yet. The early kickoff is what's...
Spend the night on Friday, have some booze, go to my house, see what the word is, get up early, or maybe don't go to bed if you're snorting some arse.
Oh.
And then you go in there and you see Hugh Freeze and you talk to him about ooze.
Have us throw any and every player he has under the bus. Yeah, I mean, it's still a possibility. Luckily, having a buddy up there makes it where if I want to make the decision, I can just do it pretty quickly.
There's no time yet?
What?
They haven't set a time for the game yet?
It's 11.
11.
Oh, 11? Okay. I thought Jackson said they haven't set a time yet.
No, the time being set what it is what's the possible deterrent.
Yeah, I understand.
Three straight 11 o'clock games for them?
Yeah. Yep.
No, they played Vanderbilt. That was like a 3-something.
Well, when you conclude A&M, UMass, and then Auburn.
Do you hang out at my house when you go to Columbia? That big fancy bar?
Bottle service.
Show yourself
I went
off a little bit?
last homecoming.
Bottle service.
We stopped by.
Sparklers on my Insta feed.
Because we wanted to check out the new design of it.
Oh, did you?
Doug, how do you like the architecture of my house?
It is nicer. It's a better setup than they used to have. But that was the last time. The few times since I've been to Columbia, I've not gone to my house. Not really where I'm looking to do, coming up on 4 or 5 years after I graduated.
Oh.
Well, since I didn't graduate, I can still be
Well, you
there.
still have eligibility.
You still got that baby look, Jackson. You could probably
baby face.
Probably look like a
Oh, I'm not.
senior.
There's no concern that I look like I'm 17 or 18 or 19, 20 years old. I'm sorry, 21 years old. There's no doubt in that. I just, it's real intense.
You going to bring your mole?
If I did, I would. But I don't know if I'm going.
If I did,
I would.
If I did go, I
Makes
would.
sense. If he brings her, he would have brought her.
This is the English language
Yeah.
speaking here.
He just said it's an early kick. Wake up, Strode. Mr. Licks is not happy.
I thought I heard him say time hasn't been set yet, so I'm just sorry.
Our round sponsorships available. Mr. Licks once, I guess, does he have a VC? I guess that's going to sponsor one of the trivia rounds.
Or you could just, this round is sponsored by Mr. Licks. Like, how funny would that be? I mean, his money's green.
A lot of it, too. Plenty to go around. He could sponsor everything.
Yeah, we could have like an entrepreneurial round, and Mr. Licks can be the sponsor of that.
Right. I mean, Stephen Wildwood kind of did it for the video, the golf video.
He got his money's worth. Got like 10,000 views.
You carried that note beautifully, Tim. That's from Sweet Sweet Kai. So things are going well in the Cape.
Hope so.
I'll do a couple rounds of questions, Jackson, if you want for trivia.
All right. I'd be welcomed.
I'll do a music trivia. And I was thinking this morning, I don't know why I thought about it. Sitting on my patio smoking, blowing my smoke up. But I thought of trivia night. And I don't know why I thought of it. I said, that'd be a good category. Famous spouses or famous siblings. Just do a category on famous siblings, whether it be a famous mother or famous brother.
Well, mother, I feel like famous family, I think you could do it there. Siblings, people are going to be thinking brother and sister.
Yeah, do famous families.
There you go. All right, yeah, I'm into that.
Doug, Sappho's is on the Collier and Thompson phone lines. Sappho's.
Is that a girl?
That's his name?
That's the topic. We got the reigning Milagro Tequila Listener of the Month on the line.
Baldwin Beer Bitch?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Becoming a regular.
Good morning, Baldwin Beer
Hello,
Bitch.
Triple B.
Hey, boys. I didn't want to change my name, but I figured I could get on this way. So.
Oh yeah, you're on.
Yeah, it's to the front of the line you go.
Hey, quick question before my Sappho story. If I convinced Mr. Baldwin Beer Bitch to come to trivia night, would you guys be able to segregate it like a 6th grade dance where all the girls could sit on one side and boys on the other?
I yield to Cal Kennedy. He runs everything St. Gabriel's.
It's pretty much how it works out anyway. Because most of us think girls are so icky.
I'd love to sit with Lipstick Glass and Sharon Clayton, so I think we would probably just dominate everyone.
Oh,
so.
wow.
Yeah, sounds like you're a hungry little lesbian, huh?
There was a table full of women at last year's.
Okay, so I won't fail to deliver here. So I told you guys I'd call in. Sorry, I've been traveling for a week and a half here. So I went out to D.C., visited the D.C. Dime. And, Tim, there's just something about becoming the Milagro Tequila Listener of the Month and then experiencing my first, experience with Sappho.
Oh,
so that's what I called in to talk about.
Whoa.
So hold on a second. Let me just get this straight. You had never been with a woman. You go to D.C. to celebrate winning the Milagro Tequila Listener of the Month. You leave your husband behind. And kind of like when Vito went to New Hampshire and met Johnny Cakes, you thought, I'm going to explore in our nation's capital.
Well, I wasn't the one exploring. So this is the story. So I was with the DC Dime where, best pals, we're great going out friends. So she invited some of her other single lasses that she met in DC. And this one girl, we'll just call her V, because I don't want to dox her. Even
V, Doug.
Okay. V.
Vivian.
So we're out, she was getting a little drunk and opening up about her divorce and how her ex-husband got the dog, and she was getting really sad. And so I kind of just put my hand on her arm, just as a consolation move,
Yeah, touching.
I think she might have interpreted that as something more, because we then went outside. There were some people in our group partaking in some drunk darts in the alleyway.
Cigarettes.
Yeah, drunk cigs.
Okay.
And we're outside and we're just sitting there holding our beer. Some people are having drunk cigs, and she comes up to me and she says, "Do you know how lucky Mr. Baldwin Beer Bitch is to have you?" And I said, "I think he knows." And then she just kissed me. And not only that, but she was putting her hands in my hair. It was a really sensual, effort. And honestly, Tim, this is the most disappointing part for you, but I kind of browned out at that point in the night.
Browned out. So analingus?
Oh!
Hello, Vivian?
No, we were on our 5th bar at that point, so memories got fuzzy. But apparently, the DC Dime let me know the next day when we were recapping the night that V was all over me, and she just kept kissing me. We went to DC Dime's apartment afterwards for a little after party, and V just kept coming at me and kissing me. And at one point, DC Dime and I were on the balcony sitting there hanging out, and apparently V was licking the door and making suggestive movements.
Licking the door. Doug, you ever lick a door?
No!
Oh, so cute.
I don't know.
So, yeah, I don't know if there's any heavy petting, Tim. If there was, I don't remember it. So I apologize.
Do you remember if her tongue entered your mouth?
That's the part I don't remember. I asked DC Dime, and she was preoccupied with, corralling some of the other girls. So she doesn't know. I don't know. We did hung out. We all hung out the next day, and it was a little awkward. I tried to not make it awkward between me and B, but I think she maybe was, she was the one that said she'd be gay for pay. So maybe she was experimenting. But yeah, I mean, it was pretty wild. Honestly, nothing's ever happened to me like this in 32 years. And
So
then
do you
here
feel
I
like
am.
you cheated on your husband?
No, I texted him the next day. We were, DC Dime and I were rotting in bed because, we were feeling the effects of the 5 bars at that point. And I texted him and was like, so apparently I kissed a girl last night. And he was just like, oh, haha, LOL, TMA will love that. That was his reaction.
Nice. Everything's for show content, Doug.
Yeah, exactly.
Iggy, is that a cock?
No, because sounds like she was passed out. If you don't remember any of it. Can you get this V girl to call in?
Yeah, is V available for the 9 o'clock hour after Gabe?
Yeah, we'll get to the bottom of this.
I think she actually left for Europe this past weekend. She's gone for a couple weeks.
Isn't it, Doug?
Girl next door all over again.
I mean, I do remember the first kiss, and like I said, the most, I don't want to say alarming because I don't want to come off like kink shaming, but the most surprising part to me was her actually like putting her hands all up in my hair and like getting really into my hair. So
ruined me.
How drunk were you? They didn't remember any of this.
Well, we had started drinking at 2:30 that Friday, and we didn't get home to DC Dime's apartment till 2 a.m. So it was a solid marathon of 12 hours of drinking.
Denny P says this is absolutely a cuck situation, Iggy. How about that?
No, not if you don't remember it.
What? That gives you a free pass if you just black out?
Well, she wasn't cheating on her husband if she didn't know what was going on.
It was a brownout, just to be clear, because I remember most of the night. It just started getting fuzzy at the end.
And
I think a blackout is when you don't remember anything.
And kissing isn't cucking. Come on.
Kissing isn't cucking. How about that? Kissing isn't cucking.
Well, I
T-shirt,
think
hoodie.
Socks aren't sexy.
They meant socks aren't sexy.
That would be cheating, right?
No, but she doesn't remember it. She wasn't cheating.
It doesn't matter if you remember it or not.
She would have to be the one kissing V. She wasn't. She was getting kissed, and she was drunk, so she doesn't know what's going on. You can't have a drunken cuck.
V completely came at me. She was feral. She just kept coming at me all night.
And what about the DC Dime?
Yeah, what was she doing? Diddling herself in the corner?
Oh.
She and the other lasses were talking to some French guys. Don't worry, KG. Nothing to worry about. It's not a situation. They were
Why would KG be worried? I don't follow all of this.
We're going into French together. Guys?
Yeah, it sounds like.
What was that?
She and I are going to Spain together.
Yeah, DC
Who,
Dime's
you and
the one
V?
that's
No, the
gonna meet
Dime.
up. Yeah.
Okay.
Now, did you and Dime? You said you called your husband when you and the Dime were in bed. Were you guys in the same bed? You slept in the same bed?
No, we weren't. Whenever we stay together, I try to leave her bed open in case she wants to bring someone back. I'm a good friend like that, so I was actually on her couch. But at this point, she came out onto the couch, and we were sitting there rotting, just talking about her night. And then
Rotting?
That's when I
What does that mean? You were sitting there rotting.
Rotting. It's like when you're rotting in bed, you're doom scrolling, you're just laying. So,
Being a sloth.
being a sloth, yeah. That's what the kids call it now, is bed rotting.
Okay.
That's what you call it.
And it's the same as
So,
doom scrolling.
One usually involves the other.
Okay.
And then I know I'm on a tight time here because of Gabe, so the couple other
Other
things.
trend.
So just a shout out to Milagro Tequila, because when we were in DC, I went up to the bar and ordered a tequila soda for someone.
Mm-hmm.
And the bartender said, "What tequila do you want?" And I said, "Oh, I'm not really sure." And he said, "Well, we have Milagro." And then he mentioned something else, and he said, "But I'll tell you, everyone prefers Milagro." And I said, "Sounds good. Give me that."
Oh,
So,
Look at that! Timmy Burgers!
I didn't know I was-
Milagro tequila!
reigning champion of an HD2 show in St. Louis. So it's only
Yeah, Doug, this thing's starting to really carry. The HD2 signal penetrates the markets of DC
Yeah, and
and
then,
the Atlantic seaboard.
It's big as the Pentagon.
Yep.
And then lastly, Doug, I thought of you. So I was up north this past week. I was visiting my family in Chicago, and then we went up to Wisconsin to our family's cabin up there.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a billboard that said, "Put the awe in autumn." And it was an advertisement to come see Foliage in Wisconsin.
Yes. What a scam that is. We got leaves here, too. We got them.
Well, honestly, though, I was disappointed. When I came back this weekend, I was hoping the leaves would start to pop because, it's fall.
Yeah.
But there's really not. And so I think it'd be great if TMA listeners could just text in Foliage tips,
I agree
like
with
the
that.
lookout alert. Like De Pere Road is just starting to turn, but it's probably like a week or two before the prime.
Okay.
So, Doug, I think you should really chair that. And
I'm not
embrace-
doing it.
That's not a bad
I'm
idea.
not doing it. Our leaves will turn yellow and red and everything. Just give it a couple weeks, that's all. We're a little behind the northern climes of Wisconsin.
I like that climbs.
When were you in D.C.?
I was in D.C. not this last weekend, but the weekend before. I was a traveling little girl. I went from D.C. to Chicago to Wisconsin.
Yeah, you've
back
had a
to
busy
St.
couple
Louis.
weeks.
Traveling little girl.
You like that, Doug?
And you felt naughty, didn't you? I'm going to
I did.
Chicago. Stand up.
And then, the last thing here before I leave you guys. So I stopped at the Wally's in Pontiac. It's like 60 miles south of Chicago.
Been there.
You know how to have a big
I was
time.
there 2 weeks ago.
Nice gas station.
It is. They got jerky as far as the eye can see.
Jackson, did you notice that there were just like varicose veins everywhere?
Clip that off.
Yeah, some of the largest humans I've ever seen.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I walked in. I was stuck. It was like the biggest sliding door I've ever seen, and there were like 4 lasses like side by side in a row, and they all had varicose veins just popping out of the back of their thighs.
Oh, that's hot.
And I got stuck behind them, and that inspired me. Where do you think? So, Iggy, I feel like you're probably a fan of those clickbait articles of like, here's the top state rankings for the best foliage or the best cost of living. If there was a clickbait article on like, here's the states with the worst varicose veins, where do you think Missouri would rank?
It's a great question, Doug.
Yeah.
Well, this is in Illinois. Pontiac, that wall
It's
is
Illinois. I guess you could include the bi-state area. You could do one for Illinois, one for Missouri, including the Illinois side. But where do you think our states would rank? Do you think they'd be like top 10, or do you think there's a lot worse varicose vein situation going on in the South?
I don't know. I'm not really sure how you get varicose veins. I would have to know that before I would be able to pick a state. I mean, I really don't see a lot of them, so I don't know.
It's usually older people with poor circulation.
Well, everybody is old.
Doug,
Everybody is old people.
Doug, these lasses were like in their 20s and 30s.
Really?
So, yeah.
Well, sorry to hear about their deep vein thrombosis.
Maybe it's too much cheese.
All right.
Hey, hold on a second, Baldwin Beerbridge. So now that you've experienced skin soft like yours, is this V cornered you at the cocktail lounge where Tip O'Neill was sitting at the bar taking in the sights and sounds, do you find yourself yearning for more soft skin?
I don't find myself yearning for it. If it happened again, I don't think I'd be opposed.
Do you think your husband would leave you?
No, absolutely not. Mr. Baldwin Bitch and I have a great marriage, so.
But I mean, if this is indeed a cuck, this will be 2 times you've gone out without him and started to engage with another woman.
Mm-hmm.
Is it a cuck if he's in St. Louis and I'm in D.C.? I thought it was only a cuck if he's in the same room behind a potted
Wow.
plant.
Oh,
sounds like a divorce attorney line right there.
That'd be the porn cuck, but cheating cuck can happen anywhere. But you didn't cheat. You didn't know what's going on, so.
Right. And she was the one that made the move. She was the feral one that came at me.
Mhm.
I was just the recipient of all of it.
Yeah, now she's married. Her husband could have been cucked.
So she's divorced. And so I think that was part of it is, she was feeling a little lonely. She opened up about how her ex-husband got the dog. She was sad, and she,
The ex-husband got the dog. Was that in the divorce, or did he just swipe the dog?
Yeah.
Wow.
I think it was part of the agreement, but she was really sad about it, and she found comfort in the September, Milagro Tequila Listener of the Month, visiting from St. Louis. So.
This is all
comfort.
I like a little hardcore.
You do, like a dirty.
So you're anxious to go back to the nation's capital, aren't you? Finish what you started.
Well, they're actually moving to New York. There's a couple of DC Dime and a couple of her single friends. They're moving to New York in April, so I think I'll probably go visit them next. That'll be the next girls' trip. Will be springtime. We'll see what the situation in New York's like.
Yeah.
Well, when you come in to pick up your prize, text us and let us know you're coming in, and we'll pension in the studio for a few minutes.
And bring pictures of your friends.
I sent some to the text line for KG. I don't know about that, but Iggy, would it be too greedy? Could I get a signed glossy for real?
Wow, Iggy, how about that?
Of course you can.
Okay, awesome. Well, I'll make an effort to come pick that up this week or next week. I'm still recovering from all my travels, so.
Yeah. You're a tired little girl, tired little traveling girl.
I am. I was a busy little girl, and now I'm, just, settling back into, being Mrs. Ball and Beer Bitch. So
Get back to your traffic on Manchester Road.
I just picture her being drunk, kind of sitting on the couch, just being licked on by the V.
Cut that off.
Not knowing what's going on.
All right, boys. I'm gonna head out here. But it was
right there. That was enough to get.
Sorry to bother you.
Yeah, if you need to get out, just let me say something. I'll be gone.
In the 12 stages of Karening, do women start behind being MLM boss babes before or after they start calling into HD2 radio shows for attention? This audio charcuterie board is brutal.
Oh, come on.
Arbor Day.
Yeah, it was a
It
nice
is the
little story.
Milagro Tequila texture of the year.
Enjoyed the travel log.
And I believe her story.
So now Ball and Beer Bitch is going to start a multi-level marketing business on Facebook?
Well, if successful, you can make a lot of money selling
right?
soap and things.
Yeah, I was a naughty little girl.
Sounds like she had a naughty trip to Washington.
I'd like to meet this group of gals.
I don't think you're off the hook, though, just because you were drunk and you don't remember it. That doesn't absolve you of any guilt.
Well, she already said her husband said no problem,
Yeah.
so she's off the hook.
Yeah, well, that gets her off the hook. But if you didn't tell your spouse or something, and your excuse was, "Well, I was drunk," I don't think that cuts it.
Jesus, could it be any more obvious this beast is making this up for looking for head pats from you cucks on the dais? Lesbianism, fat Hoosiers, and whatever rehash show topics you can think of. Jesus! It's in the 636, and Doug, he is not happy with her or the show.
I think it was a real story.
I'm not sure why she included the varicose vein story.
Yeah, that didn't make any sense. And then asked me,
It's not that
Biggie,
odd.
you would know. Where?
I would say probably Florida. Wherever the oldest population is, that's probably where the most varicose veins
probably.
are.
Laying in the sun all day and not doing much.
Well, I
and
don't think it
kinda-
has anything to do with the sun. It has to do with your circulation.
Well, Florida, aren't they pretty... Even if you move down there as a retired person, you're still pretty active.
But you can be active and still get them if your circulation is wrong. So
I don't
the reason
know.
why people wear compression socks.
West Virginia has the highest adult obesity rate, so they might be in play.
Yeah,
Could be.
if we would have really thought through it, we probably could have gotten there.
Yeah.
A lot of SEC choices.
Yeah, down on the bayou, too.
Yeah.
Fried foods down there.
See, now, the reason I think her story was true, because she didn't embellish it.
Clip that
She
off.
just said she's kissed and she didn't really remember it. Now, if one of the guys would have called in with a story, yeah, and she was all over me and I was a little drunk, so eventually went back to the back room and and I took her clothes off and then 3 of her girlfriends joined me and it turned into an orgy, Tim.
That's right, Doug. It's all happening.
Yeah. So we're excited about this story.
Yep. I'm sitting here trying to harness my soft cow.
Oh.
But good news, I might get full erection because the Colonel is going to join us, brought to you by James Carlton of the Carlton State Farm Insurance Agency, online at carltoninsurance.net. 314-961-4800. 388 5-star reviews for James Carlton. Make the switch. They do all the paperwork for you. James is going to be in studio next. I want to go quarter by quarter on the UMass game. You wanted to just do half by half, but I think we go quarter by quarter.
Mention it in passing. Find out if Burden's okay. Okay, how about the uniforms?
Foliage.
Jackson, what do you think they'll wear this weekend? Homecoming.
Black
helmet all day, right?
Black helmet,
How about
black
when it's like
M.
Missouri?
Black helmet, black M, black jersey, white pants.
I think, I don't know on the block M. I think you're going to go block M against Oklahoma. I think it'll be oval tiger, but I agree with everything else. There's where I am.
All right.
If you're ever going to wear the block M, it should be homecoming, right? You got a bunch of former students there who are used to when watching games when Missouri had good uniforms.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to want to wear some of those good uniforms.
Definitely gets Oklahoma because that's a former Big 12 opponent where the block M was more predominant. But I think they might roll with the block. They rolled with the block M last year, like from the Florida game on, or even before then.
You're under the impression that anybody other than you cares about what helmet they wear.
No, I think a lot of people like the uniforms.
Cottleville is the king of the Ozempic ass lonely housewife starting a pyramid scheme. Norwex towels for days. That's from Doug's Prison Wall TMA social media course. I don't know what's a Norwex towel?
No idea.
I don't know. What, you move to Cottleville and you get yourself an Ozempic prescription, and then you immediately open a multi-level marketing business?
Starter
That's what
kits in the
people are
house.
doing?
Yeah.
And you sell towels.
I like a good towel. Are they good ones, Norris?
I don't know.
It's hard to find a good towel.
How hard is it to find a towel?
I can't find one that's just how I like it. It's either too absorbent and it gets too wet, or it's not absorbent enough and the water doesn't come off you.
Well, that's a problem we haven't really explored much of lately.
If some dude kissed her and kept coming back for more, she could have stopped it. Getting kissed once is excusable. If it keeps happening, it borders on cheating. This may have been a girl, but repeatedly kissing is still cheating. A spouse may be more likely to forgive it's a girl, but it's still borderline cheating. Doug, somebody not happy with the ball and beer bitch.
Okay.
It's like a
borderline
comment
is not
section
cheating.
all of a sudden come to life.
Borderline is not cheating.
There you go.
Borderline is okay?
It's like saying you borderline lost that game. Yeah, but you didn't, did you?
Think about
Well, that's different. A won and a loss is different than whether you cheated.
Well, her husband doesn't care. Why do these people care?
Well, that's the important.
It starts with a G and ends with an ale vulva.
Gale vulva. See how I figured that out?
I'd like to find her and get her on the show.
Oh, would you?
And I'd probably mess it up. Joining us now is Gail Vulva.
Mm-hmm.
You know what they say, Doug? The only place with more quote-unquote boats under 19 feet in one place than the Lake of the Ozarks is the Wally's parking lot. That's from Chris Raby.
That's the measuring stick. If your boat is under 19 feet, you're a Hoosier. You just got a little bass boat, little John boat. So you stop at Wally's. I like Wally's.
I had a little Boston whaler in Bermuda.
Nice.
There you go. Like James Bond. I wasn't a Hoosier.
No, not you. I'm sure you had a tuxedo on. Probably a white tuxedo coat as you
Close. I
drove
had
your little
a
whaler.
white dinner jacket that I wore as a waiter, and then I'd drive
You wore a
up.
dinner jacket while you were
It was like a
boating.
white tuxedo. No, and I would drive every once in a while. It's a long way on my moped or my 50cc Honda. It takes me 2 minutes to get to work up the hill, down the hill, and there. If I took my boat, it took me like 40 minutes to go around the bay. But sometimes I do that.
And you look like James Bond.
I park that thing, pull it up on the sand, dock it up, and then just jump out in my white tuxedo jacket, black pants, and mosey on up the beach to work.
313 Friends of the Feather have gathered in the YouTube chat. They want to hear from that Colonel. Colonel's going to join us on the other side of the break. That's next, brought to you by James Carlton. We close out the Fisher Window and Door Store 8 o'clock hour. This is TMA, presented to you by Brown & Crouppen.
Craving a fiesta for your taste buds? Welcome to Rosalita's Cantina, your ultimate Tex-Mex getaway. Indulge in their mouth-watering tacos, queso-smothered burritos, and the best chips and salsa imaginable. Dine in on their beautiful patio, majestic bar, elegant dining hall, or grab it to go. And don't forget to check out their location at Enterprise Center. No game or concert is complete without nachos and a margarita. Rosalita's Cantina, where the sunshine never ends. Learn more at rosalitascantina.com.
There's nothing more important than the look and feel of your home. So now's the time to make your home your retreat. Replace your tired old windows and doors with Marvin replacement products designed to improve comfort and efficiency. Fisher Window and Door Store, a reputable local company, will guide you through the entire replacement process. Their experts will help you make the right choice for your home, and they'll measure, design, and install your new windows and doors.
Hi, I'm Jim Fisher. Since 1941, the Fisher family has provided you with quality American-made building products, including Marvin Windows and Doors. Come visit one of our showrooms in Brentwood or East Alton, and let us help you increase the value of your home.
Bring that distinct sense of quality to every room with Marvin. Visit Fisher Window and Doors' huge newly remodeled showroom in Brentwood or Fisher Lumber in East Alton, Illinois. Quality and comfort starts at Fisher Window and Door. Online at fisherwindow.com.
If you talk to someone who has had a kitchen remodel, say, from Collier and Thompson, they'd probably love to show it to you and say, look what our place looks like now. Collier and Thompson does it, and they do it right. Also, football season is here. You might want to update that man cave. Nothing better than sitting in a comfortable man cave, and Collier and Thompson can make it look like the best place in your house. You want an appliance? Maybe an appliance for the holidays. You're thinking about that. They've got the top brand names. They got Bosch, Thermador, Wolf, Sub-Zero. Got them all. Old Stacy is the appliance guy. He'll do you right. Matthew and Eric are the appliance installers. Also, they are looking to hire hire some lead contractors. If that is your line of work and you'd like to work for the best company in town that does this sort of stuff, Acura and Thompson is the one to look for. They've got almost everything, and it's all right there in-house. No need to go to 5 or 8 different places to remodel one room. With Acura and Thompson, the countertops, appliances, lighting, flooring, hardware, plumbing, electric, you name it, it is all right there in-house. They will take absolutely great care of you. Acura and Thompson on Manchester and Baldwin, next to Uncle Bill's Pancake House. Acura and Thompson, come home to quality. Online at acuraandthompson.com.
Thinking about selling your home, but not thrilled about going public? Check out Compass's private exclusives with Jeff Lotman. With private exclusives, your home is shown to a select group of serious buyers. No public listing, no days on market, just real offers from real people. Their network connects you with top agents and qualified buyers, so your home gets the attention it deserves without all the fuss. Selling your home can be simple and stress-free with Compass private exclusives, because your home is special. Call Jeff Lotman, your Compass agent today to find out more, or visit the Lotman Group online at JEFFLOTTMANN.com.
Hey, this is Tim McKernan. I regret not managing my finances better in my 20s and my 30s, and now I see how crucial it is for achieving major life goals. Mark Hannon with Evergreen Wealth Strategies helps everyday people every day with their finances, discussing cash flow, liquidity, investments, insurance, and tax-efficient strategies. No matter your financial planning stage, Mark will boost your confidence and keep you on track. Learn more at evergreenstl.com.
Equitable Advisors, LLC, member FINRA, a broker-dealer and a SEC-registered investment advisor. Equitable Financial Advisors and MI. Evergreen Wealth Strategies is not a registered investment advisor and does not provide tax advice.
Hey, you. It's Dr. Pryor. If your mouth's been getting more action from late night pizza than it has from a toothbrush, it's time to come see me. At 100 West Dental, we know how to clean up your act and your smile. Whether it's overdue cleanings, a chipped tooth from a wild weekend, or just getting that fresh, I'm definitely not hungover grin, we got you covered. Look, we know you're not shy, so why shy away from getting your teeth right? Book your free consultation at 100westdental.com and let's give you something to smile about. Because hey, you deserve to be as smooth as Tim's golf swing.
Hustle and Heart Sports Performance is the one-stop shop for St. Louis area football-specific and athletic training located in O'Fallon, Missouri. Hustle and Heart utilizes the top trainers in St. Louis, led by its owner, 8-year NFL vet Pierre Desir. We have a 40-yard turf field, college-style weight room, red light sauna, and a state-of-the-art recovery room to service all of your athletes' needs. For more info, check out hustleandheartsportsperformance.com or call Dustin at 314-440-8457.
The choice of a lawyer is important and shouldn't be based on an ad.
If you're seriously hurt in an accident, you'll want all the money you deserve. That's called justice. But there wouldn't be lawyers if justice was easy. No, justice is not easy. It's fought for and it's won. At Brown & Crouppen, we fight for justice every day. If you want some, call 222-2222. Because at Brown & Crouppen, justice is our business.
Biggie's Restaurant and Bar has been a staple of the community for over 30 years and is serving your favorites like the steak sandwich, waffle fries, and so much more. It's not just the food that's rocking. With a full bar and patio, Biggie's is the perfect spot for lunch, dinner, and a little laughter. Biggie's original hours are back. Open 11 a.m. till midnight, Wednesday, Thursday, and Sunday. And 11 a.m. till 1 a.m. on Friday and Saturday. Check out the full menu at biggiesrestaurant.com and stop in today.
TMA brings you the third annual TMA Trivia Night, Friday, November 15th at Tim's alma mater, St. Gabe's, starting at 7:30. All kinds of trivia, including sports, entertainment, St. Louis-centric, TMA round thrown in there too. All hosted by the guys from TMA. Get single tickets, tables of 8, or anything in between. Tickets go on sale this Friday at 8 a.m. and cost $50 a person. Portions of the proceeds will go to St. Gabe's. Ticket includes food from Heavy Smoke Barbecue, plus beer, canned cocktails, and seltzers from Show Me Beverages while supplies last. Please drink responsibly and feel free to bring your own food and beverages too. Find out more at tmastl.com. KPN-TFM HD2, Collinsville, St. Louis. This is TMA All Day. Tim, Doug, Biggie, Action Jackson.
It's the Brown & Crouppen Morning After. 105.7 HD2.
Well, wait till they hear this. On Saturday, 11 o'clock, beautiful forecast in Columbia, Missouri for homecoming. Missouri Tigers, Auburn Tigers, the Battle of the Cats.
Oh, Lord. You're a writer, aren't you?
That was a straight improv, and I'm so excited about it.
News.
Look who's in studio, Doug. Do you see him over there?
I saw him sitting there. Hello, James.
James
Good
Carlton.
morning, gentlemen.
James Carlton, every Monday here as he sponsors the Colonel for the 9 o'clock hour. Brought to you by 5P Academy and Hustle and Heart Sports Performance. Send your emails in here in the 9 o'clock hours. We'll have the Design Air Heating and Cooling email today, the morning after at InsideSTL.com, 9:50. Jackson and I go down to hallway. I don't know if they'll be happy with us today.
I wouldn't think they would be, no.
Jackson, what's coming up on Balloon Party?
Weekend wrap up.
Oh, wow.
That's it.
Yeah,
That's all you got is the
we're
weekend
going to spend
wrap
a whole segment on Kike Hernandez's celebration after hitting a home run, and we might even demonstrate it.
Yeah, boy tripping.
It was. I saw that.
Gosh.
There's some boy tripping going on.
We got the Colonel, but before we go to the Colonel, can I hear a couple clips? Because this is one of my favorite traditions on Mondays. Highlights from Gabe's post-game program.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Colonel,
It's nice
the
that-
Colonel on the line can get to relive it with us.
Yeah, here you go.
Couple things, Gabe. What are the chances that Luther Burden still gets hurt if he catches that ball that hits him in the hands? Secondly, how happy would it make you to see Eli Drinkwitz get fired? Thanks.
To the first
Couple
question,
things, Gabe.
to the
What
first
are the
question,
chances that Luther Burden still gets
all right, yeah.
hurt if he catches that ball that
Well,
hits him
Sean,
in
we
the
need to
hands?
cut that.
We heard it.
Secondly, how happy would it make you to see Eli Drinkwitz get fired? Thanks.
Okay. Honestly, I didn't think it was worth playing
Thanks,
twice.
Gabe.
We heard
Sean,
you.
we got to cut the voicemail in.
Come on,
Luther
Sean.
Burden still gets hurt.
Okay, we'll get to the second most important question, which is Luther Burden, in just a minute. But the chat has a big question from Brickwall. The game was fine. How was the foliage?
Great. I've never heard of foliage,
Beautiful.
but I kind of picked up on it quickly, but
There you go.
Doug, there it is, a little taste.
Why are people worried about the leaves?
That voicemail playing 3 times is so good.
Joining us now on the Collier and Thompson phone lines, he's presented every Monday on TMA and every Friday on Balloon Party by James Carlton, online at carltoninsurance.net. Doug, look, it's the Colonel, Gabriel P. DeArmond. Morning, Colonel.
Hey, sometimes I feel like I do that show for an audience of 3.
All 3 of the people are in this studio. We love it.
Yeah.
Can't get enough. I enjoyed the foliage on Saturday. How did it resonate with you and your family?
I didn't really see much of it on TV. Probably would have been more entertaining than the football. Gerard told me it was a lovely setting for a college football game.
See? Take that, Doug.
So lovely. They didn't have an angle of the field goal post when they
That's
would
right.
kick. They would have to do it off the scoreboard.
Well, did we learn anything at all from the game? Did Missouri get much out of it at all?
Nope. I mean, they won. Good for them. They were always going to win. Apparently, at least my message board and Twitter followers learned that it was proof Missouri is awful and probably won't win again. I believe that to be residual anger from the Texas A&M game. That they were never going to see anything that necessarily pleased them on Saturday because, everybody's still a little upset with how things went in College Station.
Well, is there any reason for increased optimism? Did you see anything at all in this Missouri win that makes you think, well, maybe they got something figured out?
No, I mean, I don't change my thought process really from what it was on Friday. I mean, I think it's unlikely they look as bad again as they did against Texas A&M. I think they're a better team than that, but I refuse to look at anything against Massachusetts and say that's proof it's going to get better. I mean, like Luther Burden's 61-yard touchdown run, hell of a play against an SEC defense. That's a 2-yard gain.
Yeah.
I mean, UMass had a guy there. He just couldn't make the tackle, and nobody else. Once Luther got to the corner, nobody else was fast enough to get anywhere near him. That's just not an SEC defender makes that play, and even if he doesn't, it allows somebody else to get there. I went into that game knowing that I wasn't going to see anything that made me say, okay, this is figured out. This is all better.
Gabe, good morning.
I did a 1,000-word blog on the UMass game after that, so I don't really want to cover UMass a whole lot more. Can we move on to Auburn?
1,000-word blog, Doug.
It's like a lot of unnecessary effort.
So with Auburn coming into Columbia this week, yet again, Mizzou is turnover free. I think that goes unnoticed. I mean, they do not turn the ball over on the season. They're +5. Here's Auburn on the season, -11. So if there is an advantage for Mizzou, it is the turnover margin with the Auburn Tigers coming in this week. I just want to get your thoughts on that first. And then secondly, just on college football in general, Saturday night was phenomenal. I really enjoyed all those games going on. The biggest surprise to me is the guy that is pretty much the biggest lame duck coach going right now, Billy Napier, not going for 2 on that last touchdown. I couldn't believe it. They roll out to go for the 2-point conversion, and then all of a sudden Tennessee calls a timeout, and then they roll the field goal team out, or the extra point team. I couldn't believe it. So what are your thoughts on Auburn coming to town as well as the overall college landscape on Saturday?
Yeah, I tend to think over the course of time, turnovers are largely about luck. Now, I think there is, especially interceptions. I mean, you have quarterbacks that take risks and throw more versus quarterbacks who don't. I think Brady Cook, one of the biggest factors in his game is, hey, don't make a mistake. Don't, and it's why you probably see sometimes a guy that you think is open that he doesn't throw to because he's not going to take the risk to turn it over. Peyton Thorne has no issue with that. He will throw the ball anywhere, frequently to the other team. So yeah, the turnovers are a factor. Auburn is 2-4 and hasn't scored, I think, more than 17 against a power conference team. They just have a lot of talent, but make a lot of mistakes. And the Florida-Tennessee game, I will be honest, I took I was watching a lot of college football. The advantage of the team you cover playing an 11 a.m. game that is over at halftime is that you get to, by about 4 o'clock, be watching a lot of college football, which I don't normally get to do on a Saturday. But I did not quite make it all the way through Florida-Tennessee. I made it to where Florida tied it in regulation. Then I believe I fell asleep, woke up at some point and watched some more of K-State Colorado and some other stuff. I did not see overtime, but yeah, I think Billy Napier went from maybe saving his job to maybe sealing his fate in Gainesville. Tennessee survives, but you've got a whole bunch of teams out there, and I wrote a lot about this morning from a Missouri fan perspective. Again, we get tunnel vision, right? Well, this team can't go 10-2, and they can't make the playoff and all that. Well, just look at everybody else. I mean, everybody's losing. I think there are maximum 4 really elite-level teams, and I'm including Georgia in that for now only because I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt that I believe it's in there somewhere, even though we really haven't seen it yet. Texas is there. Ohio State, I think, is there despite losing a game they really probably should have won on Saturday. And then Oregon is there by virtue of beating Ohio State, even though, honestly, Oregon didn't look very good for the first, 4 weeks of the season.
Gabe, your 10 thoughts on a Monday morning, major recommended reading for college football fans, not just Missouri fans, at PowerMizzou.com. I am coming at it, and I think we disagree on this, that Missouri, to get worked up about the rankings is neither here nor there, although I'm pretty sure you agree on that in general anyway. But Missouri's path is simple. The task won't be simple, but the path is simple. They have to win out in order to get in. And if they do, and even if they were to lose in the SEC championship game, I'm of the opinion that they are in the college football playoff at what would then be, 11-2. So, but you still see a path for them in at 10-2, and I would like to get your perspective on that.
Yeah, there's a path. It takes help. I mean, the only way you're getting in, like you said, is win out. And there's a lot of teams in that situation. Alabama's in that situation. Tennessee's in that situation. Ole Miss definitely in that situation. A&M's probably in that situation. Notre Dame is. I think everybody, to know they're getting in at this point, has to win out. But if things break the right way, I mean, the ACC right now looks like a 2-bid conference. That could change. I have a hard time seeing it being more than 2. the Big Ten looks like probably a 3-bid conference. I think Penn State, Oregon, and Ohio State are like almost in today, barring a big shock. I mean, Indiana and Nebraska, technically, and I guess technically Illinois still have a path, but a lot of these teams are going to play each other. Indiana and Nebraska play each other this weekend. One of them's done after that. Well, Nebraska's done if they lose. Indiana's got a loss and a couple tough games left. I mean, there's just so much that has to go on around and play out around the rest of the country that I'm not saying Missouri gets in at 10-2. I'm just saying to say they don't at this point is way premature. I mean, there's a path to get in at 10-2, especially considering Tennessee could lose 3, Ole Miss could lose 3, Georgia could still lose 3 or 4. So there's a lot of different things that could happen. You are going to see. I think you're going to see a 3-loss team in the playoffs, if you want the truth.
Georgia?
I just think there is so much parity. This is like 3 straight weeks where we've talked on Monday. Wow, a lot of crazy stuff happened on Saturday, right? I don't really see that slowing down.
Are you of the opinion that the 2 teams that play for the SEC championship in the Big Ten, win or lose, they're in?
Yeah, they should be.
Okay.
I mean, if a conference championship game costs you a spot in the playoff, those conference commissioners the next morning are going to say, we're not playing this game.
Exactly right. Okay, so then along
it's insane.
So then along those lines, so we agree on that premise, how do you view it for the Big 12 and the ACC, which I, for the record, am not of the opinion that that's a lock, but obviously it's certainly live for both of those teams, especially looking at the dynamic of the number of undefeated teams in the ACC and the Big 12 as we sit here and talk on October 14th.
Right. It all depends on what are their records in 6 weeks. Are we talking about, 12-0 Iowa State and 11-1 Kansas State in the Big 12 title game? Then, yeah, I think you can make a pretty good argument that you should at least consider both of them are going to get in. If you're talking 12-0 Miami and 11-1 Clemson, yeah, they're both in. But what if you're talking 12-0 Miami and 9-3 Pitt? Or, 10-2 Iowa State and 10-2 Kansas State, then that's a different deal.
Right. I guess at this point, though, because all they have left are conference games and these teams are undefeated, then they're not necessarily going to be in the conference championship game. You have a weird spot, I suppose. I guess weird isn't the right word, but Clemson has a non-conference loss. LSU has a non-conference loss. But you see what I'm saying? It's starting to look like, with the volume of teams that are undefeated in those 2 conferences, that it's looking very probable that you could either have an undefeated or 2 one-loss teams competing. And so if that becomes the case, and again, this is all if, but everybody agrees that Big Ten and SEC, they're both going, win or lose. But then you have the group of 5 team, you have the 2 from the SEC, the 2 from the Big Ten, the 1 from the Big 12, the 1 from the ACC. But if it becomes 2 from the Big 12 and 2 from the ACC, you're now left with 3 at-larges.
Yeah, look, if you're giving the Big 12 and the ACC 2 teams in the playoff, like, the path is way, way harder. I don't think that's going to be the case. I think the ACC is a 2-bid league if it's Miami and Clemson, both with 11 wins or more. That's not a sure thing. I think the Big 12 has a really hard time being a 2-bid league. I mean, BYU and Iowa State are undefeated right now. If you look at those schedules, the reality is that they're probably not both finishing undefeated. I mean, if they do, then we can have a different conversation. But I have a hard time believing that's likely. And look, we're going to, I already could write Greg Sankey's speech after the playoff selection, or before the playoff selection show. Hey, 9-3 in this league is better than 12-0 in that league. Who'd they play? We have 9 teams that would win that league. Now whatever, you can think whatever you want of it, but he's going to say it. And we're going to have arguments over who number 13 is or who number 12 is, because we have arguments over who number 69 is in college basketball. So, of course, we're going to fight about it. But I maintain, hey, if you finish 12th in the country, you knew the rules. You should have been better.
I think BYU is kind of a sneaker operation. They have the non-conference win against SMU, which is a top 25 team. They've beaten Kansas State, and they've beaten Arizona. I know Arizona, there's some shine off of that one, but their only really tough game left is at Utah, and I'm not sure what Utah is anymore. So,
right, but that's kind of the point, right? You get to the end of the season and you go, cool, their best win is SMU?
Well,
is that an at-large team?
What was it? Did somebody say?
Oh, I said Kansas State.
I was about to say Kansas State, yeah. I mean,
okay, Kansas State, yeah. But my point is, when you stack that resume up against, let's say, a 10-2 Tennessee, which will have been either beaten Georgia or Alabama, beaten Oklahoma, like the best win you can get in the Big 12 is going to be the second or third best.
I get that. I'm looking at it. I get that. I'm looking at it from the Missouri perspective, because Missouri's got an issue with what's their best win if they lose to Alabama. And that becomes...
and absolutely. That's why it's not a sure thing, but there is a path there. I mean, it's not... It's going to take some help. You can't go lose to Alabama and be 10-2 and know you're getting in. There's no way of that. But it is... I think it's possible. I mean, this season is... I've had a lot of people say this looks a lot like 2007, when two-loss LSU ended up playing for the national title because everybody freaking lost in the last month of the season, right? I mean, that was the year where I think number one lost 5 weeks in a row. And everybody is like, I just don't see very many teams ending up undefeated. I think Oregon has a shot. Texas has a shot, but they've got to beat Georgia this weekend. Penn State, I don't think they're going to beat Ohio State. I think Penn State's getting in the playoff, but I don't think they're an unbeaten team. I just think we're talking about things that 3 weeks from now we're going to go, well, we spent 10 minutes talking about that and none of it happened.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I just isolated on this, especially with your affiliation with Power Mizzou. I don't see it any other way as Missouri's 11-1. I just don't see a road for 10-2 Missouri, and in part it's because who they've played and who is left on the schedule that they can't get
the road
the
is
signature.
Simple. The Big 12's a one bid league. The Big 10 only gets 3 teams in, and then what you really come down to is you're in competition with like Ole Miss, Tennessee, Alabama, and one other SEC team for 3 spots.
But then if Alabama's beating Missouri,
Tennessee loses 3, or Ole Miss loses 3 or 4. I mean, that's the path. It does take a lot of, there are obstacles.
But they're in competition with Alabama and A&M, and they will have lost to Alabama and A&M, which means Alabama will have to lost 2 more games, and A&M will have to lost 2 more games.
I mean, but they don't necessarily have to be better than all those teams. Like Missouri, Alabama, and A&M could all get in. There's a path for that. Is it going to happen? I have no idea, but I think there are probably 3 SEC at-large bids. I think 4 looks a little unrealistic at this point.
So, quick follow-up, because I want to operate under that Mizzou needs to get to 11 wins. So, focusing on this Tennessee-Alabama game this weekend in Knoxville, on the surface, you're like, oh, you're definitely rooting for Alabama to win because you want them to be as highly ranked as possible when Mizzou plays them, right? But if Alabama loses, and their defense is a situation right now, and even though Tennessee's offense is a situation too, so it's going to be strength on strength and weakness on weakness. But is there a scenario if Alabama loses at Tennessee for their second loss in 3 weeks, and could have easily been 3 in 3 weeks, DeBoer is under a lot of heat down there, right? Does that help Missouri face a Roll Tide team on the 26th that may not have much to play for and may have lost the locker room and under an immense amount of duress?
The Alabama football coach is always under a lot of heat. That's the job. He's not getting fired. So, no, I think you absolutely want Alabama to win that game, not only because it helps your strength of schedule, it makes either your win or your loss there look better, whatever, but it also knocks Tennessee out of the conversation. We're not talking about – that's one team out of the way. The issue for Missouri here is not one specific team. It's the number of teams we're talking about, right? It's like, hey, you might only be 3 games behind in the race, but you've got to jump 8 teams, and the chance of them all 8 falling behind you aren't great. So any of them you can knock out is great. I mean, Tennessee loses to Alabama. they're probably done because unless they would then have to go win at Georgia, beat Vandy, all that.
Yeah.
I think the chances for Tennessee to be done after this weekend are better than the chances for Alabama to just mail it in.
Got it.
If I could get back for a moment to what happened on a glorious fall foliage day at McGurk Alumni Stadium, should we not be worried at all about the Burden injury? I know Drinkwitz said he was okay. Have you heard anything more about that?
Well, it was real interesting. First of all, I think the good sign is Luther never left the sideline. Like, he didn't go to the locker room. If they're worried about, and I'll be honest, when I first saw it, I thought he broke his collarbone. He's done. But if that's the case, you're going back in the locker room to get x-rays. Like, Khalil Jacobs went in the locker room to get his shoulder checked out. If they think that's a problem, he's going to the locker room. I know people who were at the game who said, hey, he was on the sideline. He was good the entire second half. Like, I had a friend whose kid high-fived Luther after the game. So I think he's okay. But the interesting part was, and this is, college football coaches do this a lot, but Drinkwitz is doing an interview between the third and fourth quarter. He says he'll be fine. And then after the game, he was asked, what's going on with Luther? Well, injury report comes out Wednesday. I can't tell you anything before then. Well, he told the TV reporter he was fine. Either he's fine or he's not. Mm-hmm. So, yes, there is a little bit of concern until somebody tells us he's fine, whether that's tomorrow at media day or Wednesday if he's not on the injury report. Yes, I think there's a little bit of concern.
Hey, Colonel, I was listening to that SEC podcast. I know you've been on there before. They had Mississippi State at 16 in the SEC doing their rankings. Yeah. Who would you put at 15?
Man, there's a lot of teams in the conversation. I kind of want to say probably Auburn at this point.
Right, that's what they had as well.
Because Florida finds ways to screw things up, but Florida still pushes people. They're going to beat somebody at some point. You'd initially say maybe Kentucky, but they beat Ole Miss and could have beat Georgia. I really think in the SEC, I think you can take, I want to say 2, but it's probably more like 3 or 4 through 15. And on any given day, I don't know. And I think in college football, I think you can start it at number 4 and take Oregon, Texas, and Ohio State out of the conversation like we were talking about. I don't know how much difference there is between 4 and 35 this year.
Yeah, and even deeper than that, as we've seen be the case. I know you were outspoken early in the season on Notre Dame and the one loss. Outspoken probably is overstating it, but you were saying you just don't see a path for Notre Dame once they've lost to Northern Illinois.
It's there now.
And are you still of that opinion?
No, I think. Look, I always understood if Notre Dame got to 11-1, Notre Dame will be in the playoff. But it is my belief that that's the worst loss in the country of a contending team.
I would agree with that.
You can't lose to Northern Illinois, which has lost at least once and maybe twice since then.
Oh yeah, they have. I think Northern Illinois is 4-2.
Like to me, that is disqualifying. I understand it won't be. I understand Notre Dame will still get in if they get to 11-1. I just, if I was in the room and Notre Dame came up, I'd say next. I don't want to talk about it.
I certainly understand that. All right, so you got this Saturday's homecoming. I am going to be there yet again. Gabe's always been critical, Doug, of my lack of appearances in Columbia, Missouri.
Well, you're a coward.
That's right. But I'll be there Friday night and Saturday night. I think it'd be wonderful if we got together for dinner, cocktails, snort some rails. You can blow some rails off my tramp stamp.
What?
Where are we dining, Colonel? I need you to set this up.
Sadly, you can now give me hell. I actually have plans in Kansas City on Friday night and am going to have to leave Kansas City, Kansas at about 6 o'clock the next morning to get back to cover the game.
Wow.
So, I will not be in Columbia on Friday night.
Wow, you hanging out with Kelsey and Taylor? Is that what you got going on? It sounds like it's pretty important.
Obviously.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
We're good friends.
That's what I thought was going on. I knew that was going on. Where's the place to dine for a guy like me? Obviously wealthy and A-list.
I mean, are you like just coming to the game alone? Or are you with?
No, I mean, I'm sad, but it hasn't gotten to that point. I'm going with my wife. You were with me and my wife and my son a couple weeks ago. So it's just, but son's not coming this time. So it's just me and her. 2 nights in Columbia, and I would love some dinner recommendations, Doug.
Okay, I will give you dinner recommendations.
Yes.
Murray's is always strong.
Doppler Dave.
It's always crowded. So, like, if you don't want to wait, get there at about 4:15 to beat the older crowd. Irene's is a good place down by Columbia College. 44 Canteen. My wife and I went a couple months ago for my birthday. Excellent food and drinks there. That's
Jackson's favorite
Those would be
spot.
pretty good recs for you.
Okay, very nice.
I know Gabe's got CJ's in his #1 spot for the power
For
rankings
wingy?
of wings. But
Wingy
I'm telling
wingy?
you, D Rose smoked wings. Give them to me all day. That's
Is that
#1
right?
food.
I
I
like
love
it.
them.
D-Rose is excellent.
Doug, we got some good recommendations.
El Ranchero, I've eaten there.
Take your wife there.
I should do that.
There's a White Castle out on Clark Lane that I've heard
Was
of.
not there when I was in
Sweet action.
Ooh.
Right by the QT.
All right, Colonel, always appreciate it. Thank you so much, kind sir.
All right, guys, have a good one.
There he is. That's
thanks,
Gabe DeArmond of PowerMizzou.com.
We're going to find out a lot about Texas. Texas hasn't played anybody. I mean,
They've
they
played brands. They haven't played good
Michigan's
teams.
got a good defense. OU's got a good defense. But they haven't played a complete
You know
team.
what I mean? They
Georgia.
played- I think Michigan is comparable to a middle-of-the-pack team, and I think that's probably a lower pack in the SEC for Oklahoma. But they've played Michigan, which is a brand,
Yeah,
and
on the
Oklahoma,
road.
which is a brand, but they are not. I don't think they're great teams.
I think I saw their strength of record is like 88th in the country right now.
Yeah, but they are stomping teams. I mean, Colorado State.
OU had a
Tennessee,
chance there
nothing.
coming out of the gate. Their defense was playing with their hair on fire. They got turnovers. They just couldn't convert. Their offense is
They
a
got nobody
mess.
healthy.
Yeah.
The entire offensive wide receiving room is
It's unbelievable. It really is.
James, I have an insurance question.
Please.
Are our rates going to go up based on what's happened with these hurricanes and insurance companies paying out?
Yeah, you know, all these states have their own insurance commissioners and bylaws. You have to file, not bylaws, that's not the right word, but the regulations, and they have to file these rate increases through the state. And some are tougher to get through than others. But, I mean, you can understand from a business that when you are almost guaranteed to pay out X in states like Florida and California, you need to charge the appropriate amount to even break even. And a lot of these states aren't even approving that. And that's why you're finding scenarios where you can't find insurance on certain parts of Florida's coast.
Yeah, I mean, my whole thing with moving to Florida, I mean, it's just kind of like, it's dead.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, which is fine. I mean, but because, you know, with having sons going to school here and everything, but taking a step back in general, I mean, Doug, I know you have, Greg is there in the Tampa area. The insurance is now, it's up 400% from that housing boom in 2021.
Yeah.
It's just, it becomes a non-starter. And then it gets into the ability to get a mortgage. I mean, it's compounded. I think Florida real estate, I don't know how much it will affect the rest of the American economy, but I think Florida real estate is a dangerous bubble. I mean, I guess, I don't even know if it can be called a bubble anymore, but you're going to have a large number of people who relocated there who are going to go, I can't do it anymore. And right now it appears to be more on the Gulf side than the Atlantic side, and I guess that's because the Gulf is kind of serving as a microwave warming up the weather that then the Gulf side gets hit. The Atlantic side obviously gets hit, but it's been the Gulf that's been the bigger story here with Ian 2 years ago and with Helene and Milton this year. That I think people are going, I can't do it anymore.
And it's not just your home insurance. A lot of those have exclusions. And then you get a hurricane policy and maybe a flood policy on top of that.
Thing is the thing that
I mean, you could be easily spend 5 figures on insurance
I
down
wonder
in
if more
Florida.
people will start to move inland in Florida, get away from the beach. I mean, you can still drive 20 minutes
Sure,
and be there.
I'm with you.
Without getting half the ocean into your house once a year.
But so there was a weird spot with how big or how intense Milton is the area where we really were looking, which I would say is about 10 miles in. What do you think PGA National is off since you've stayed there? About
probably not 10 miles.
Yeah, I was about to say it's probably not 10.
5 or 6.
Yeah,
maybe.
okay, so this place was probably like in the 7 to 8 miles. And so the hurricane hadn't even made landfall on the Gulf side. And where did it make landfall? Sarasota? Is that right?
Siesta
Okay.
Key. Yeah.
Siesta Key. But it's circling all the way out into the Atlantic, and so it just spawns a bunch of tornadoes in the Jupiter area.
Wow.
And so, I mean, there's all these videos of these tornadoes in this neighborhood it's a brand new neighborhood, and the houses just are wrecked. So you have that comes with it. It's not just necessarily the surge.
And no basement to hide in.
No basement to hide in. Yeah, I'm amazed by these people who clearly aren't that familiar with tornadoes. They're standing there by their glass, taking videos, and then the glass just starts shattering and things come flying. I'm like, man, that's
get into the
very un-Midwest of you.
Yeah.
Jackson, Twisters, good or bad?
Good.
I loved it.
Yeah, fun little remake. Glenn Powell. Remake? Yeah, Glenn Powell. Woof woof. And
Doug, you hear that? Do you hear that right there?
He's a handsome cat, like truly, like really handsome.
So if he bought you a drink, and you were at Molly's, what would you do?
Well, I would just start asking questions. You know,
what does that mean?
Well, I'd start about his career,
like who's big,
what his aspirations are, where he sees himself. You know, is he more of a Cary Grant?
What's he doing after the bar shuts down? Those kind of questions.
Yeah, we might get there at one point.
Come here a lot, fella.
Yeah. Next thing you know, we're at a park.
At a park?
Glenn Powell is...
In Soulard after closing time? Good luck to you.
You'd like it, James. If you like the original.
No, I saw it. I really enjoyed it. Yeah, really enjoyed it.
There you go. There's a recommendation. Can you let James know I'm very happy I switched him as my agent, and he is a total zaddy. That's from Tony Big Toe.
So what is a zaddy?
Jackson?
It's kind of someone probably north of 40 who still gives off a lot of sexual kind of appealing energy. Pedro Pascal is often referred to as a zaddy.
How about Glenn Wolfe?
Glenn Powell?
Glenn Powell. Wolf.
He's a little...
There was a wolf in there somewhere.
That's right.
He's a little young to be a full-on zaddy. You theoretically would have children or multiple children.
I check a lot of these boxes.
Do you really?
Yeah, maybe
That's
I'm a zaddy.
season right here.
Wow.
Beards help. Beards are a big
That'll
help.
help the business.
There you go.
James, thank you so much, sir.
All right, gentlemen.
See you in
Thanks,
Columbia.
James.
There he is. That's James Carlton, carltoninsurance.net. Sounds like Gabe's making up a story about going to Kansas City just so he doesn't have to dine with me. That's what I took out of that.
Well, yeah, it's got to hurt when the boy you wanted to meet up with to snort rails off your tramp stamp comes up with a suspicious story about being out of town at the last moment.
Flip that off.
And Bill Reloaded says, I could have gone apple picking down in Lewisburg and cider.
Yep. Hey, Sharon in Clayton is active in the Schaefer Door Company text inbox. Sanibel homeowner here. Had to gut her home after Ian, but dodged the Helene and Milton bulletin. I think it probably was bullet, but just to autocorrect. Insurance hasn't gone up, thankfully. We are lucky. Sanibel is a different animal with regards to the rest of Florida. Island will always be coveted property. Peeps think it won't happen again, and it's worth the risk. That's from Sharon in Clayton.
I could just foresee a time when most of the movement goes inland, 10, 15, 20 miles, on concrete block houses that are up off the ground.
They'll probably have to clear up more of the Everglades if they're going to want to do that.
Yeah, they've never been really shy about that.
No, they have not.
Because even that PGA National wasn't but a couple miles from the start of the Everglades.
Right.
Yeah, you're right. Finally, you guys are realizing Florida isn't that great.
No.
Is this the guy who's happy about the anti-ans?
This is the guy who lives in Kenlock.
The guy who's happy about the anti-ans. I thought that was a guy on Twitter.
Yeah, he's a communist, apparently.
No taxes, but your insurance is sky high, and you have to move your house for 2 weeks every other year. And you have to move out of your house for 2 weeks every other year. Well, I mean, this would be what I would consider to be results-oriented thinking, because when I was looking at buying there in 2021, the combination of Ian, Helene, and Milton had not taken place, and it was Ian in particular that caused the insurance to skyrocket, which means it was information that I did not have at that time. Now, unlike a Takesmith on Twitter tweets or Sports Talk Radio or Grifter Radio, when I get new information, I'm then comfortable acknowledging that maybe I will change my opinion. Now, that makes me a poor grifter, but an honest host, and who always invites you to get down on your knees and give a little lick and taste me.
Oh, gosh.
Okay. Honestly, I didn't think it was worth playing twice.
Gabe.
Sean, we got to cut the voicemail, man.
Cut it.
Burden still gets.
I guess there'll be a lot of people, particularly the retirees in Florida, who maybe won't want a house, but they'll want a condo in one of these steel and concrete condo buildings that won't be quite so susceptible, and they'll maybe live there in the winter and then come back home in the summer when the hurricanes hit.
Yeah.
You can still do that. There's a lot of people that can't, of course. But there's a few million people that do that kind of thing down there.
Yeah, I'd be curious, like if Milton would have been. I mean, don't get me wrong, it was bad, but I don't think it was as bad as it was projected that it could be. Would you say that's accurate, considering your son's there?
Because they talked about it like it was a nuclear bombs were
Right.
dropped on Florida.
Who knows? If you would have had a lot of people who moved there, in particular from the Northeast, who would have said, "Okay, screw this." So I don't know. But either way, I mean, the insurance thing is the core issue. It is a monster thing. All right, what do we got going on? 9:49. Jackson and I are going to get our asses ripped for an hour. Then I got a sound story at 11:30. And we'll do QFTA. Not today, I don't think. I don't know. Maybe we will do it today. I don't know. What do you got going on? What are you ball striking?
What time?
After the sound story. Hey, if you got to go, though.
No, I mean,
you got to go.
Whenever.
I don't know.
Best for you.
I'm not even sure.
All right, well, whatever's best for you. I'm cool.
That's how you always answer a question to me.
Right.
Whatever's best for you.
Otherwise,
I mean, it's
tell
part
you
of
to
my
get
job.
down on your knees. Like you did
And then
the
do a
last
little
guy.
tasting. Do a little licking. Lick, lick. Lick, lick. Let's see what I got going on here. No mentality. Are you feeling sluggish? It's a Monday. Are you writing it off to a Monday, Doug?
Well, I do that from time to time.
I know. I didn't get good sleep. The situation with our 2-year-old invading the bed. I don't know what to do. Are you interested in housing him for a little while?
Well, he would have to pay some rent.
That's reasonable.
I do have some extra bedrooms now, so I guess.
Put one of those mobiles up above him that spin around,
That's
keep
for
his
babies.
attention going.
Yeah, this guy's almost 3.
No, that's all right. Something to keep his attention away from running into your bed.
It's a hard call, and they're so cute and so loving. But, Father, I love you.
That's exactly right.
Can I get in your bed? And you're so tired yourself, you don't want to fight it. You say, okay, come on up. And the next thing you know, you're getting kicked in the groin.
And now he comes down at like 6:45, which is right when I leave to come in, because the show starts at 7. And I'm like, oh, I want to hang out with him. Can't hang out with him.
Yeah.
I got to go. I got to go entertain, what would you say, at least like a dozen people on HC2.
Oh, talk a dozen. Yeah.
Right. Well, anyway, mentality. Feeling like you've lost your edge? If your energy, your focus, your drive isn't what it used to be, it's time to get back on track with Mentality Health, your local experts in testosterone replacement therapy. Visit Mentality today at lowtusa.com. That's lowtusa.com. Your first step to reclaiming your vitality. Is belly fat and a lack of muscle tone holding you back? What used to be easy to maintain might be harder now, but Mentality can help. Are you disinterested in your partner? Low testosterone could be affecting your libido, and Mentality is here to restore that spark. Go to lowtusa.com and work with Mentality. Yeah, I went to bed last night, Doug. What time did we fall asleep? 9:45?
Well, there's a lot of cuddling.
And then I woke up. It's like 11:30. Now I can't fall asleep. Now I'm up again.
Yeah.
I think I watched the second half of Walk Like a Man. Is that the second to last Sopranos episode?
I just don't know.
Or no, was it Heidi and Kennedy? Is that the third to last Sopranos
I
episode?
think it's third last. That's when, what's his name, got killed. Or Tony
Spoiler
killed
alert!
him.
You remember the names of the episodes on this
Yeah,
series
because
from
that's the
20 years
people
ago?
that, those are the
And
two
then the
girls.
second to last episode's Blue Comet?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get out of the
And
train
Made
store.
America?
Get out of the train store, Bobby. What are we doing?
Spoiler alert!
War going on. You're looking for trains.
We have all our vices. Is that a kink? Because if you're telling him to get out of the train store and it's a kink, you're kink shaming.
It's only a kink when he wears that little hat.
Doug, do you have a problem with a grown man wearing a train conductor hat while he plays with model trains?
A little bit of an
Kink
issue with
shaming.
that, yeah.
I nailed that episode, too.
Of course.
What do you
Let's
mean?
Let's hear how you scored.
Bone the fish?
Scored another big W.
No, I was on a Facebook group that kind of tried to decipher what the episode was going to be, what's next, and I said...
Facebook group about this?
Yeah, we
You were on Facebook in 2007?
We try to throw little spoilers out there without seeing them, but you just kind of guess. And Blue Comet...
I thought Facebook was only for people in college in 2007.
I don't think so.
Well, you were at Harvard probably there when it started.
No, I was working here. Not here, but... but I know that Blue Comet was the name of the train. And I said, I guarantee you Blue Comet has something to do with the train. He's going to go buy a train. He's going to get killed.
How about that, Doug?
Okay. Some sort of soothsayer?
Nailed it.
You'd like some applause for that, wouldn't you?
Please. Did I interrupt a live spot?
Well, I mean, that's fine, but I'm more enamored with you being on Facebook in 2007.
It had to be Facebook because we were back and forth on these topics.
It was opened.
Each episode.
It was opened on September 26th, 2006 to everyone aged 13 and older.
All right, Iggy, you were on there quickly. I wasn't on there until like 2008. And I remember my brother Kevin, who's always thanked at the end of the program, when he was working on TMA, he said, well, one of the things you guys can do to enhance your social media is get on Facebook. I go, Facebook? That's for all like college students. And he goes, now they just open it up, and that was 2007. But Iggy, you were on there, I guess, in June of 2007.
With that episode reveal.
Spoiler alert, douchebag! That's some Doug's prison wallet.
Yeah, well, if you haven't watched it yet, you're 20 years late, so...
Transform your story to Illinois Recovery Center. At Illinois Recovery Center, the team believes in the strength of every individual's journey to recovery. Whether you're taking the first step or continuing your path, the IRC's dedicated team is here to support you. I had a listener last Sunday night, as a matter of fact, Doug, reach out to me and said, I know I've got a problem and I got to do something about it. Said he was functioning but had a problem. I forwarded him to a person at the Illinois Recovery Center, and that evening the person reached out, and they already got the process rolling that evening. How about that? That's the Illinois Recovery Center for you. Visit IllinoisRecoveryCenter.com, or you can call 888-472-9559. It's Illinois Recovery Center. Visit IllinoisRecoveryCenter.com. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the Design, Air, Heating, and Cooling email of the day.
All right.
Sadie Hawkins, Doug. The Tigers went up to Amherst and told Lou Rowe and the Minutemen they stand on business. Jack Flaherty pitched to Jim Dandy against the Mets as he seeks to be the latest former Cardinal to lead his team to the World Series. But I think the lead is that Iggy got a new masturbation candle with his work wife's face on it. Ours is the type of presentation where a busy beer bitch from Baldwin feels free to drop by at any time and regale us with a lesbian tale of a feral divorced hot mess who was so randy for the beer bitch that she started licking the door. Fortunately or unfortunately, she browned out and doesn't remember it going any further than some aggressive kissing. That don't matter because Iggy felt free to share his descriptive fantasy of said busy beer bitch being licked by the divorced feral hot mess. Don't forget to pick up your prize pack. There definitely won't be a creepy old man on a smoke break there to corner you in the elevator when you show up. Can't wait to drink some beverage alcohol and defend our trivia title at St. Gabe's next month. Will we repeat? Will I storm the stage to correct more of Jackson's sus trivia questions? Only time will tell. Okay, I gotta go now. My upstairs neighbor won't shut up about all the smoke I'm blowing into his apartment, so I'm going to go narc on him about his balcony grill. I'm pretty sure I have the moral high ground because I caught him in a lie about a Post-it. Man, I miss the days when my upstairs neighbor was a scantily clad lady who let me bang her as soon as I killed a spider and pointed at my erection. I think that's from Buck Swope.
Buck Swope with a mighty fine email this morning.
Third floor neighbor, not this one.
Pets are considered personal property. Therefore, the pet's rightful owner is the spouse with whom the pet has the closest bond. So guess what, Mama Cass? You should be nicer to the dog. Pets have feelings. That's why my lover and I never have sex in front of the dog. The last thing I would want Dora to have seen is the mud fishing that we did in Savers parking lot last night. He had brought a construction worker Halloween outfit and put his backtrack in my butt crack.
Oh,
that's from Lou, and then the last name's Brickett.
Lou Briquet? Frenchman?
Yes.
It must have been busy today to only send that in.
Regarding the alarm clock discussion from segment 1, I don't need no stinking alarm clock. My body naturally wakes itself up every morning at exactly 40:45 as my colon throbs with the powerful pulsing of 10,000 heartbeats. At that time, my large intestine instinctively knows that I'm ready to start my daily marathon bowel movement as I sit on the toilet until 7:07 each morning, grunting feverishly as I struggle to release my inner chocolate demons. My motto has always been, when you hear Jermaine Stewart, it's time to wipe the mud off your dirt star. On the rare occasion that I oversleep, my father-in-law simply rolls over and wakes me by poking his morning wood into my lower back. Before you judge, it's not what you think. The economy has been hard on all of us, so Mark, a baby food taste tester, moved in with us after he got laid off. Oh yeah, I also share a bed with my wife's dad because we like to cuddle after we bang. Last thing, how great would it have been if Jackson would have tinkled in his undies this morning? Maybe it's time for TMA-themed adult diapers. Your studio already smells like menthols and regret. Might as well add the lingering odor of steamy boy brine.
Okay.
That gets from the JV golf coach.
Nasty. JV golf coach.
Hey, Jackson, did your buddy Oatmeal tell you that my wife and I met him recently? We were in Cancun on vacation. I was peacocking around my giant areolas when I saw a beautiful tan man with even larger nerps. I walked over to him and his family and asked if he was Oatmeal. He replied, "Si." And then I asked him, "Jackson's buddy Oatmeal?" To which he replied, "Si." He never mentioned that he didn't speak English, that he had a family. Anywho, I started trying to get my mouth around those big pepperonis, and we had a quick romp under a beach.
Gosh.
Pa. It was pretty hot, even though his wife and kids kept yelling something at me in Spanish that I would later find out loosely translates to white devil. At the end of our sesh, he laid down a thick, hot, chunky boy load on my chest, resembling Quaker. Am I in the filtered file or am I in the...
how do these things get through?
I looked up at him and said, "I guess that's why they call you Oatmeal." We all had a quick chuckle. Oatmeal said adios and quickly ran off before I give him my number. Can you please pass it along? Got a scoot. That's Doug's microphone shadow.
Doug's microphone shadow with a nasty email.
I'm a little surprised he doesn't know English, but he understood what you were talking about there.
And that's what we have for the design, air, heating, cooling.
Well, certainly not the last two. They were very vile. I'm going to go with Buck Swope. We had a well-penned email.
It's tough for me because I always say that I like a good poop story, but that's like 5 of them were poop stories. So I'm going to go with JV Golf Coach.
Oh, those are the two I had set aside. Boy, it puts a man to the test. I think JV Golf Coach. That's where I'm going.
Oh, dang, never
Congratulations, JV Golf Coach. You have won the Design, Air, Heating, and Cooling email of the day. Boy, I didn't want to be put to the test there. I didn't want to be put to the test there. It's like choosing the best team in the Big 12. I don't know, you know?
Nasty.
It was close. Those are the two I had.
Jackson, we're going to go down the hallway. What do we have coming up?
Weekend wrap up.
Oh, nice.
Can't people wrap themselves up in the weekend?
So what the hell are we supposed to talk about?
I don't know. Maybe look ahead. What's to come?
Well, get you ready for the Blues and Wild.
Right.
And say, okay, all that stuff that was important that happened this weekend, we're not going to talk about. Instead, we're going to talk about things that might happen.
Yeah. Well, the Blues and Wild are playing tomorrow, brother.
Oh, I know, but they also played VGK on Friday, and we haven't talked about that.
Okay. Yeah, we got to wrap that up and preview. Thanks to Eddie McVeigh, too, and Maggie O'Brien's for the gift certificates for Gobblable.
God bless.
It's for you, masturbator.
Oh.
Doug, we got to go. We have to. We have balloon board. For Jackson, Better Cat, Chairman Kurt, Kenneth Easter, my brother Kevin, Douglas Silva, Vaughn, and Tim McCurdy. This bad TMA presented to you by Brian Krupp.
Hey, if you like the morning after, check out Balloon Party on 101 ESPN.